And here we are. This is the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. However, it kind of isn't, is it?
I don't know. It's pretty confusing.
What do we call it this time? So
oh, God. So this noise is the tent flying because everything is moving. We do have a lot of wind, and that's offshore wind, and not a lot of waves, do we?
No. And who are you?
I don't know. Who am I? Who are we? Where am I?
This is horrible. This is we're going to be out of control. But this is out of control. That's why we're out of the business rounds and we're into the party round. We're going to have a special expression session coming on here with 1, 2, 3, 4 heats for the men, 1 final for the women. And we've got a lot of competitors going to be running 20-minute heats. And why? Because
there's not enough waves to run the events when it comes to QS, both on men and women. We did a lot of surfing yesterday and the previous days, but today is just too small. We know there's swell coming most likely midday tomorrow with a big period. So we just don't want to risk it too much. Today we've seen some waves in the morning. Ben, you've been surfing. It was okay-ish.
But 2 sessions already.
Enough. 2 sessions. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I went to play golf.
I really expressed myself.
Anyway, right now it's just too fat and too small, so we're going to be just like doing something to enjoy our Saturday afternoon. Local time is 5:06. It's the first moment of the day to get an Estrella Galicia, but for the moment we have 4 little finals and a big one after. And as you can hear from the wind, it's not really onshore, so most likely the guide will be flying behind the wave.
Yeah, but we have a lot of people expressing themselves out on the bluff, on the beach, in the bar, on the skate ramp, and at the stage.
Yeah,
wait, there was one more place. In the Pull&Bear shopping shop, there are 500 people lining up to buy all of this year's Pantin Classic gear, which is only available now at the Pull&Bear store. And so, yeah, it is quite popular as we're seeing green going for a little Mike Stewart expression. Oh, yeah, there's your Mike Stewart again. Are you starting to learn that Mike Stewart's a very famous bodyboarder?
Yes.
Although you had no interest in bodyboarding, obviously, in France.
No, actually, I had my first board with a Moray Boogie.
That was my first board.
Yeah, it was a Mac XT, a green one with little weird stuff on it.
8TX.
Yep. Yeah.
That had the dimple bottom, like the Willis Brothers surfboards.
Exactly.
I remember that. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Here we go.
I had a surf toy. Not interesting. Blue, up and riding.
So Blue is jamming across. It actually looks like it wants to take to the air.
Okay.
And just when we said there weren't going to be any airs in this heat, things are starting to spice up.
Diviege Silva from Brazil, up and riding. Front a little blowtail, late spin to face plant. So, well, surfers have chosen 2 different options, as it's been happening quite a lot over the last few days. We have red, blue, and white on the left-hand side, just in front of these persons. And on the other side of the bay, we have green, Kaina Souza, who is not leading at all. He's been proning since the beginning of this expression session. So we have 4 hits.
Actually, white is on the main peak on the outside of him.
I have no idea why it would go that far out. The tide is pushing in. There's strictly no waves. I mean, I enjoy the fact he's there with the Rashi on, but Thiago Cabrão may have seen something we have not. There's a few little sets coming. Let's see if he can just, maybe with the tide incoming.
I'm not writing him off just yet, but I know that spot just pops up for a second and then goes flat.
Diviege Silva went for this one. And as you could see, a little section. You can see David is not really the biggest surfer in the world, and this is still a small wave. Blowing the tail, spinning around, and face planting.
And we just saw Thiago trying to paddle into one. I know from experience at that peak this morning that at this tide it would look like it was going to pop up, and just by the time you think you would be able to paddle into it, it would turn into a big jacuzzi. Not a jacuzzi, cold water jacuzzi, an ice bath.
An ice bath, yeah.
There's no shortage of people on the bluff. I'm actually quite concerned about the structural integrity of that bluff right now with all of the human cubic tons. Oh, wait. You can't walk on the dunes, but you can crush down the bluff. So right now we've got a couple rides. The reason we don't see any scores is we want everything to be a surprise. I want to be surprised. But
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I am now. Jeez. Okay, so red, I think red was the first one. No, blue was the first one to get a real maneuver, right?
Victor Mendes actually got the only turn because David Silva didn't really nail that one. So it's all about completion, and this is sponsored by one of our many sponsors at the Pantin Classic, which is called Abanca, which is at the bank. And Abanca is actually they brought the bank there. They got a bus with 2 or 3 ATMs just parked.
You beat me to it. I was gonna.
Okay.
Now I have nothing
so what
to
is
talk about.
Abanca, Ben?
It's a person who works in a bank. He's a banker.
It's a banker.
Sorry. Okay, so you can see how much little fluffy rabbits there are out in the sea. There's a lot of whitecaps out in the ocean. Luckily, just in this bay, it's slightly sheltered. And that big bluff that you just saw all those people on is actually slightly sheltering the first half of our shoreline. And so they're not in the safety zone from the wind, but they actually have a little bit of buffer kind of calming it down a bit, and that's the only reason that Blue was able to finish that off, because just seconds before we started up here, while looking at the live screen right now, down on your right side, those 4 girls were topless. So are you entertained now? There you go. So, yeah, that right side is the topless beach. Tops are optional, especially for the men. The guy in the black shirt, he decided not to abide by those rules, but this is going to be a really, really interesting
and long afternoon.
Yeah, I'm just really sorry. And that's that black dog wanted to come and bite me. Oh, goodness. This is going to be really crazy because the only expression that's going on is in this booth and by that dog.
Okay. So right now, we're still waiting for a situation from the judges, but they don't want to communicate today. They're just sulking. And,
oh, goodness. As we hand Vico a tissue. So this could be an outtakes reel. I'm sorry, but we are doing it live. Here goes red. As that thing just...
Oh, my God, look at that.
Wash.
Oh, my God. Tube. Nope. And complete.
That wave was bigger than... That wave was bigger than his foot. Hey, I know that girl. Maria. Hey, besos a ti. Okay, so we are just having too much fun, and the reason that it keeps coming back in the booth is we're more entertaining than the waves are, unfortunately, which is really bad.
There's not
horrible.
that many waves. That's the thing. We do have a paddle, though, by Diviagia Silva. Is trying to get up on that wave, which is basically not a wave yet. And the body language says, no. And Kai as well. Interesting idea to have this expression session when actually these are the worst conditions of the whole week and the wind is really not helping. But we do have some action in the water. This is the most important.
You're quite critical.
I am. I'm French, and if you don't like it, I will go on strike. Forever.
You're in critical condition. But I'm not going to resuscitate this heat. Hopefully the waves will. We were expecting with the incoming tide for something to happen. There was sets over in the main bar, back to all seriousness, which Thiago Camarão is stubbornly sticking to. So far, no ride in that pit. But we had shoulder to head high sets.
No.
Yeah.
Shoulder to head high. Whose head?
I'm talking about when I was paddling.
Ah, okay.
Oh, wait, no. No, there was some sets. That's why we saw some of our QS competitors who were still in the main round that were kind of scratching their heads. There was some amazing surfing done, and everyone said that it was contestable. However, if it was for 4 people, there was only waves for 1. And so you had one great option. You had a few other ones. And, hey, that's a great contrast between the white shirt with black leaves and the black shirt with white leaves. Or is that a dragon? No, it's white leaves. So, I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to stay in here on the next seat, but for now, I'm just having a great time. And I'm barefoot, as you would.
Oh, wait, let's check the forecast, guys.
Grass.
Look at that. That's a forecast for tomorrow, okay? So as you can see on my phone, it's a big phone, but it's broken. It's looking better as the tide is pushing out, but tomorrow we're going to have better wave. I should not be able to do that, but anyway, we're going to have 16-second swirl tomorrow, so the swirl is going to be just going straight up tomorrow afternoon, which is good because...
I don't think 16 seconds is going to be enough to run that many heats. Oh, sorry. That was stupid.
16-second swell means that we're going to have some proper period, which is a good thing. The good thing is that the tide will be pushing in the swell as well, and we've seen it since the beginning of the week that it's better when the tide is pushing in, so we have all the good factors. We will do a first call at 9 tomorrow morning, hoping for the swell to arrive a little earlier. We just don't know yet, so it's about trying to get the guys on site at 9 and just see what we have to do to make this happen, because the end of the show has to be tomorrow at the end of the afternoon. Some of the surfers actually have to fly back to the ranch. Some of the judges have to fly back to the ranch. You need to go back to your ranch. Yeehaw! And I will have to go back to Portugal, sadly.
I had to sell my ranch. I had to sell my ranch to buy my ticket to come to this Pantin Classic. It was a good one. Had a couple pigs. Sally, she was a little bit lazy. She didn't really do her job. What are we doing here? I have no idea. But did you see those 50 people in the Estrella Galicia bar that are in the place where I'd rather be? I'm so sorry.
Oh, that was great.
So we could definitely predict that an alley-oop would send you over the back. One option that I did mention is on a bigger set, they could possibly alley-oop and land on the transition of the following wave. And if that happens, I'll clap with one hand. Here we go. Green.
That's a great wave selection for surfing green.
The first real ride for green.
He's looking for something on the inside.
Are you joking?
No, I'm dead serious. Oh, Thiago Camarão found something, a non-wave, but now he's getting the inside section, Ben. That was a nice cut back. Oh, chop hop. Okay. It's on. Dude, it's on.
So, okay. We know that Blue has the most impressive, as far as in this booth at the moment, the most impressive maneuver. So I would guess that he's winning the heat.
Well, you know what? Because we have no updates, let's just do our own stuff. So yeah, I would say Blue leads.
Okay, Blue's in the lead. And White taking a look again. So White is... Wow, we're down to 5 minutes. That went by surprisingly quickly with very little waves. Let's look at the bluff. I want to see what's going on down on the beach, around the scene, who's here. So 5 minutes, and how many waves were ridden, do you think? 6?
Waves? 1. Then all the rest were just like really pretty painful to watch. Oh my God, really, you lay back? See, the board just was levitating after and just going back to the outside.
Yeah, the one cool thing is that if you don't use a leash and you're worried about your board going in, you just pop it in the air and then it goes back out to the lineup before you.
Pretty cool.
I think I see a set coming. I hear whistles on the bluff. We may have some actual action here for you guys besides just me and Vigo getting stupid. There goes...
Blue is your hit leader, as just we decided it anyway. Up and riding.
Oh, Blue and Red going head-to-head. Red goes for backside 3 attempt and loses his board.
Victor Mendes is your hit leader. Caína Souza in green, not really enjoying his time in the water, I guess.
He is a super cool dude, though.
Okay, so he's enjoying time in the water now.
He enjoys all of his time. He is probably one of the rootsiest characters that I've seen around the competitors area. Always smiling, always in a groove, and so even with no waves, he's probably having a great time. As Thiago Camarão stabs that corner. Where is he exactly? Oh, he's right in front of our LED screen. I like that. So that's a new option that we will see coming into play within these next couple of heats, hopefully, with the tide pushing in.
Oh, Divide Silva. Backside No.
It was a backside 180 kickflip attempt. However, the concave on his deck was actually the opposite. That was dumb. So we're a little bit afraid of blowing over the bluff down into the top of the speech.
Yeah,
Actually, no, it sounds better now. Oh, I'm sorry. So I think we're down to like 3 minutes remaining. And we have our Jet Galicia team coming and checking out the scene. Make sure that there was no injured algae on that last maneuver.
We could actually use them as tow out. No?
This is more action. White, black. Okay, yep.
Yeah, it's hard to just see yourself on the screen at the same time because I had the camera. It's pretty confusing.
I've tried that before.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Carina Souza. Oh, die Virgin Silva. Open the writing. Pumping in the Hansel line. Oh, chop hop, 180. I don't think it's going to be better than Victor Mendes, as we do have a set where Thiago Camarão was.
That's the sound of one hand clapping because there's nobody on that one wave that came through in 20 minutes. However, the tide is changing and we could see some things switch around. The offshore basically pushes you backwards. It flattens out the wave, and when the wave is lacking power as it begins with, you pop shove it attempt.
Shove it.
When you do a pop shove it in offshore, you're likely to get your tail pad off your forehead.
Yep, or the fin straight into your calves. As we have the next hit already walking at the peak, basically. Carina Souza. No, unhappy on this one. So an action-packed expression session presented by Abanka. We have 1,000 euros of prize money on this one. Not on this session, but at the end of the afternoon we will crown 2 winners, as we're going to have a session just for the ladies.
It is a lay day.
And it's a lay day for the ladies.
So our surfer on the right, blue, Victor Mendes, is currently winning the heat. He gave a little subtle fist pump right there. He's feeling that much closer to the win as we hear time running out. And what is going to happen in this next 1 minute as no wave comes? I've got a prediction.
Nothing. There we go. As it's 5:20 and this is middle of the afternoon, first day of September. Is it Saturday 1st? What day are we?
It is.
Yeah. Happy September, people. It's a good month. It's not really winter yet. It's really not summer anymore.
Happy birthday to you, September.
Oh, yeah.
So here we have our horn. We actually had one completed maneuver.
So I think he won on that one, but he didn't win the money. He just won the right to serve these fantastic conditions one more time for the final.
There's only 3 other people in the water with these conditions.
It's a
How
dream.
much more lucky can you get? So,
and people are clapping.
What?
I have no idea what's happening. But it seems that Thiago Camarão is getting a standing ovation.
Wait a second. Did Thiago Camarão get some wave that we don't know about?
I don't think so. Oh, they're getting a clapometer. Okay, they're selecting 2 surfers per heat, and there's not enough waves actually to get
The other
them.
one's for the amount of applause?
Yeah, the clapometer.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but if any of these guys on the next heat actually gets like really good airs, they will deserve more to go to the final than any of these guys non-surfing. Just saying.
But I think if they get really good airs, they might get more applause. How does that work?
No, because right now we have Thiago qualified potentially by the clap. So it's not about No. Sorry, Diogo is trying to talk in the microphone, but the microphone is not on yet. So let's see if we can get him plugged in. As we do spend some time on the red surfer. So it's a new hated two. Samuel Poop from Brazil. Santiago Muniz, now from Brazil. That's weird. He was surfing for Argentina a long time ago. Jose Ignacio Gunderson in white. Lucas Silveira in green. And Ben Coffey in red. That's gonna be
that sounds good. Oh, I can't go get coffee. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'd like some coffee. As we're gonna just like switch in the booth, so I am gonna be playing rock, scissors, paper with Ben. Okay, so we just do 1, 2, 3 on the 4. We just give. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. And I'm out as Diogo will get this World Championship for me 6 years in a row. I'm out.
Vico, would you be so kind to put the little white belt on our little vinyl, whatever you call that thing? Just to reduce the percentages of possibility of blowing off the bluff. And who did not blow off the bluff? Sitting pretty in the booth is Diogo Alpendre.
With my belt on.
With your... don't drop your pants just yet, because things are just getting started here. So who do we have in the second heat? Looks like we have red, Samuel Pupo. In blue, Santiago Muniz. In white, Jose Ignacio Gunderson. And in green, Lucas Silveira. And one more red, that's going to help things to keep track, is Ben Coffey. And that is our main Estrella Galicia. It is
a whole different expression session.
It's a greenhouse because, why? Because you go in there and your amount of alcohol grows by the second. Okay, so here we go.
Red up and riding and blue just behind.
So I'm happy to say that we were actually seeing the first amount of real speed on a wave, and this is a good thing. One thing I didn't really think about is that we have the tide moving in. The offshore has been completely lethal. However, we have a really, really high bluff above the beach that shelters the shore break from that offshore, as we can see just outside of our surfers, I think. No, we can't really see on this video, on this view, but here he is putting on the brakes, letting this one speed up.
Is this a replay? I think so.
This is a replay. So if we get a little view of the lineup, you can see that there's whitewash chops outside, and there's no whitewash chops in the... I guess they're not whitewash chops, they're just chops in white caps is what I'm trying to say. On the outside, and there's none on the inside where he's riding. So the farther they move, the less they'll have to deal with the factor of the offshore.
The thing is that those deep water spots are not really providing walled-up sections for our surfers to boost, punt.
One thing I do know from experience is this morning I showed up at 9 o'clock. It was a high tide, and Sarah Wakita was the only person out there to surf little shorebreak runners, and it looked like a little baby Noosa heads. And there was a pretty actual good defined right bar that had come back through the shorebreak. So,
was there any wind then?
And the offshore was really, really offshore, but since it was so close in, it was actually sheltered by the bluff. So,
quick question.
I'm the bearer of good news.
So when you got to the beach, the offshore was already howling.
Yeah, it was heaving and howling.
Okay.
And there was 3 people on the contest site.
Literally. One of those?
Oh, no, wait. That made 4. Okay, so there was 4 people on the contest site. And Sarah Okita went down, practiced on that inside bar, which is interesting. You know why? Because really that why and because thing is answering your own question. That's just so irritating. The Abanca Expression Session final, 30-minute final for the women will be in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, we're going to have that tide a lot farther in. And Sarah Okita happens to be in that expression session, and she was practicing this morning at a similar tide on the same bank.
It's as if she knew.
She's so smart. Red,
Have you seen it do some airs or aerial attempts?
In the morning?
No, ever.
Well, now? Which when?
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah Wakita?
Yeah, sorry.
She's a really top to bottom surfer and does a lot of good carves, a lot of quick hacks.
Okay.
And she this morning was able to sneak in a couple of the shorebreak bowls as well. And
Okay.
yeah, it was good. It was really good.
As we go with live action, this is our surfer in red. And who is that? That's Samuel Pupo. Isn't it? It doesn't look like Samuel Pupo, actually.
Yeah, you know what? I made the stupid mistake of thinking it was. No, that's Ben Coffey. We have 2 reds in this heat.
Oh, that's interesting. As we go with live action, this is White up and riding. Oh, you can really see him fighting off that wind, can't you?
Fighting off the wind, or the wind is fighting him off. Either one. We got a little mix of the two there. But yeah, you would have been surprised to see at such a small size, just a little bit farther in from where these guys are, there was some cool little shallow wedge rights spinning on through. And I started out my morning body surfing while I'd taken the longboard, left it on the beach. And as the tide moved, I was the first one on the zone with one other buddy from San Sebastian, a new friend from surfing, getting the main peak where Thiago Camarão had been surfing, and now Red is starting to head out to. And so we're going to get to a similar tide, and I'm predicting with the right amount of water on that peak, there's going to be some pretty darn good waves.
But it was also working with a pretty low tide.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, which that's a good point, because it had been working at the high tide only early on, and now we have 2 different banks. This is where Red's riding right now. So you got this big fat section that was hard to make across on a longboard a couple minutes ago, and now he is just powering his way through with authority. Probably won't stand up enough to really provide any aerial opportunity, but that is just nice groveling by Red.
So far, no aerials?
Yes.
No airs?
Not in this heat, but the last one.
I saw one.
Okay. Yeah, no, in this heat we haven't seen any.
So I wonder how are we going to crown our heat winner if we see no airs? Maybe it will be the people in the hills.
Yeah, that is a very interesting. Speaking of our people in the hills, so the second option, if you didn't get the wave or the high scores, if there's only one high score, to see who gets second place and moves through the round is going to be determined by these people. Yes, these people. You get to be interactive in this heat, and we heard the beach marshal calling out the other 3 competitors' names, and the one that received the largest amount of applause is the one who makes it through the round.
And they are a noisy bunch of people, aren't they? They do a lot of noise for the surfers they root for, which is great.
Big applause. They know who they like. And just call. Can you say your name?
My name?
Yep.
Diogo.
See, I'm voting for you.
Ben?
Oh, that's so nice. So we both make it through the round. We're going to have to play rock, paper, scissors again. So Red gets a quick stab off this one. I don't know how he's levitating his way over this little knee-high wave, but now it looks like there could be a... Do you see the spray coming off of... It looked like a jet ski wake coming off of his board. So something's going on here. And I don't know if he has a jet intake system on that board, but I would like to investigate later, as we have...
A paddler.
That's exactly what he is, a paddler. He stood up even though he shouldn't have. But the end of that is coming to meet up with White, and even that little fluff of whitewash can't help to get him in the wave. Now Blue's in position to possibly stand up. Nope. See, I told you.
How good of a summer day are we enjoying today?
The best. It's as good as it gets.
We surfed. We partied. We had lunch.
Mm-hmm.
For
are you saying today? Did you already party today?
We might. We might.
I wouldn't put it past you.
And beautiful colors in the ocean. And overall, such a beautiful day here in Galicia.
We'd love to see the drone view of these colors, but with this offshore, it might never make it back. So let's just keep that drone in place for the really important stuff. And so we have red over on the center peak. 2 reds.
We have no idea who's winning, right? Because we have no scores, and there hasn't been an aerial.
I haven't heard anything announced, have we? Have we? Have you?
I have not either.
So we got red in the middle. We've got another red over to the far left middle. That's the red that you see paddling now, which is Samuel Pupo. And then we had Ben Coffey. 9 minutes are remaining. And so I think that's 11 minutes of non-aerial action. So let's see what happens here as all of these people would be just hanging out at the beach on the bluff either way. But now they have something to look at. So I'm actually glad that they threw something out there instead of making it a lay day. Basically, controlling the crowd, making them sit down and watch something.
Yeah.
Wow, Red looking over, having enough time to look over his back.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
A pop to an ollie exchange, as that would be called in skateboarding.
Yes.
So I wonder if that is actually an aerial maneuver without getting the board off because his feet were did an aerial. Vico, would a sex change be considered an aerial since he's jumping in the air above his board without the board? Red just did an ollie sex change. His board stayed straight. It didn't leave the water, but his body did jump up in the air and land back. Is that an aerial?
Why not? He was in the air.
You have to bring your board in the air to consider it.
Can it be a... It's a new class of airs. Whew. That was one big turn for this young man. Who's blue?
Whoa, blue. Okay, say blue. Once again, that's not going to be judged as an aerial, as Vico has really disappointingly informed me.
Who's blue? Do you know who that? Oh, that's a nice turn for white.
Who do you think it is?
It looked to me as if it is Leandro Osuna.
We're getting there. No, it's Santiago Muniz.
Ugh.
As white blasts the lip off that one, Jose Gunderson. So Jose Gunderson's song request was J Balvin, X, except it would be X.
How's that song?
Reggaeton.
Let's take a look at the replay of the last of blue. I like this first turn. No, it's not the first one. Maybe it's the second one.
Why didn't you like that? I liked it.
You're going to like the second one much more.
Okay. How do you know? Oh, you're right. I did. How did you know I like... Whoa, I like that violent hop to backflip. That was even cooler.
It was. Is your microphone working, Vico?
Vico, is your microphone working?
I don't know.
It is.
It does?
Yeah.
It is.
Spreading the news. Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
Vico.
Okay, that's
Hi.
highly unprofessional.
That's a whole lot of
My
feet.
feet are clean, though.
No, they're not. There's so much dust blowing off of this sand, I mean, off the grass and the little paths, and there hasn't been very much rain to settle down all of this mud, so I've noticed a lot of dust around the sandals.
Tell us more about that.
I noticed a lot of dust collected around my sandals, but it's better than mud, I think. So, yeah.
It is. I've noticed a lot of algae in my feet.
Did he just say algae in his feet?
Yeah.
In your feet?
How is it getting there?
Inside your feet?
Not
Is that what
on
happened
my
to
feet.
Is that what happened to your ankle? That's how he messed up his ankle.
That's why
filled
it's
with too
swollen.
much
Algae,
algae.
man.
That's why it's swollen. It's full of
He's
algae.
a merman. Merman.
I've noticed a lot of algae. I just took a piece of algae off my feet.
Derek, you're dead to me.
Merman, Dad. Merman.
Oh my goodness! Don't leave us. Now we've got 3 people with nothing to talk about. It's
That's
really
even
going to get
better.
obnoxious. as Vico gets caught for checking his email. Never seen that happen before. Okay, so what do we have in the water? I've seen a backflip without the board. I've seen a sex change without the board. I've seen a couple really good carves. Have we been told what the criteria is, the expression session? It's not an air show.
It's an expression session, so you just do your best in these conditions to express yourself in a fun and creative way.
Why not do a bit of poetry? That's a way of expressing yourself.
That was a haiku. Okay, 4 minutes remaining, and we are, if anyone's expressing themselves, it's us. And so how do we know if we're in the finals? Oh, because we can't go anywhere until it's over? Okay, that makes sense. Oh, goodness. As people start to dislike us more and more, just remember, we are going to pull it back together when the actual rounds come back into play.
Well, this is not warranted, though. Maybe we won't. We just hope we'll be able to make it better. We're just going so far down that I'm not sure you're going to go back up.
We're bottom feeding.
Oh, by the way, I have great news.
I wanted it.
We used to have 8 surfers in the final of the ladies. We have now 9. Yep, one more.
Who's the other one?
None other than former event winner, Miss Nikki Van Dyke.
Right
She
on.
was just like fired up with the conditions. Said, I want a piece of that for me. So she's joining the booth. Maybe later, but she will be joining the heat of the final.
Do you know what color she'll be in?
Whatever. I would say pink. No, we don't have 9 colors of rashes anyway. So
He just said yes, she is. How did you know that?
God, I don't know what's happening to me.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese. I'm not even angry. That's just...
I'm just proud. Okay, so I'm not supposed to be announcing that here. What I'm doing here?
Women 9. Okay, so we have 9 women in the
We do
special
have
final.
better waves, though.
What I want to know is, in this day and age, as we're moving into surfing in the Olympics in Tokyo in 2020, we are trying to get more gender balanced. And so why did they only get 1 heat? Oh, because there's only 9 girls and there's like 20 dudes? That makes sense. Never mind.
Anything else?
Nah, nothing.
Okay, it's good.
You got all serious all of a sudden, so I was wondering where you're going with that.
I was just pretending to be serious. I do that sometimes.
So tell us a bit about Dimity's song choice last night. Was it good? Was it a solid set?
It was darn cool. It was darn cool. Just as all of our guests at this Pantin Classic showed up, it was very early, and they had no idea that she would start off her DJ set with "Sugar, sugar, da 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 da, honey, honey," and they started kind of getting a little bit worried, and then she brought in the beats, and people said, "Hey, she's just teasing us." Yeah. It was pretty cool, though, and so she got 2 chances to play. The second time, people more drunk. It was darker, and things went wild, and someone said that I had sung Stardust. Music sounds better with you, which I did not remember. So it must have been really fun or really obnoxious.
Or both.
Which is our good friend Liam Lady Mortenson's favorite song. And I screamed out to him on the mic, and we didn't have the sound system to reach him in his airplane at 10,000 feet because he was already gone. So that was worthless. And so, yeah, four ways to embarrass yourself. I'll show you 5.
As Red is up and riding, trying to find a section. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I would say it's not complete.
No completo. As we see a blue just trying to get the inside section. Connection just behind him. It's white. A couple seconds till the heat is over.
Did you hear the time call? I have no idea.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Oh, no. So this is the dying moments of this heat. And so I think we're going to have to go to the applause again. And so who do you think is going to win the applause heat advancement?
I don't know. I think we should listen to the crowd.
Oh, kneeboarding. I like that.
So here we have George Garino on his
spoon.
The entire center surface area is clear so that you can observe the bottom contours of the ocean. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with me. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. But that was a slightly non-eventful heat. A little more going on with the guy with the black and white shorts. And that was the one on the beach, not the one here. But so what are we doing? Good thing there's only 3 people. Good thing there's only 3 people watching this anyways. So Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. This is our Abanca expression session. There was a lot more watching this until... never mind. There's going to be more watching this as the conditions improve. We do know that there's a nice little sandbar reformed in our little golden zone. And you stepped out. You stepped out, and as I was saying, that this morning with the higher tide, there was a little break coming in. It was no softer offshore, but it was close enough in that the high bluff was blocking the offshores.
Okay.
So that does mean with speedier sections, with a nice sandbar, and not having to fight the offshores, that we'll probably be seeing some more aerial maneuvers towards our heat
That's
for the
pretty
men
cool.
and our expression session. And our men's expression session at the very end, which will be roughly an hour or so from now. And we know in 1 hour, especially at this time of the day, it rushes on in and moves in about I'd say a half football field.
Yeah.
Quick question: where was the takeoff spot for that inside runner?
The takeoff spot was almost directly in front of our, right here, right in front of our LED screen.
Where these little...
There was a couple that went over on the right side, and everyone that was sitting there was too deep, and then Sarah Wakita showed everyone where to take off, and then they tried to scramble over where she was, and they still couldn't find them.
Okay.
She's one zippy little surfer. So I want to count. How many people do you count on the screen right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Never mind. I'm done. There's about 500 times that. I'd say 1,000 times that many heads.
Oh.
If we widen the screen, and so I'm not asking for that to be. Are we allowed to actually have our competitors listed by color? Are they just showing off with what they can do with our technology here? Ben Blake, stop showing off. Did you just say 300 viewers? There's 300 people who just watched me almost pick Vico's nose. That is really scary news. We better pull it together here. There's actually more than 5 people. Green, Bruno Maya. White, Luan Carvalho. In blue, Wesley Lett. And we have another Wesley, which is Wesley Dantas.
And late. Wesley Milk.
Cubagelo. I'm learning Portuguese from you guys. I'm learning Portuguese. I'm sorry, I'm back. Wesley Lett, Luan Carvalho, Bruno Maya, and Cole Hausman from USA. So we have 2 reds. That's Wesley Dantas and Cole Hausman. And we should be able to tell which of those 2 competitors is which, I'm hoping.
So, did you know? You probably didn't.
Wait, who said hello? Wagner and Rio. Wagner and Rio are talking to us. Hi, Wagner and Rio.
Huh.
Thank you so much.
Action. Green.
So they are the only people that didn't turn off their computer. So we see white.
And now
Was
blue.
that white?
It was green, but this is blue.
I see white.
I see skies. No, sorry.
Little puppies too, and blue is paddling out to the zone. Red's in the far, far right side of our bay.
Do you know that it's if you want to leave, because you already did 2 hits in a row, you can leave, right? You can give your place away to Vico and go have some rest if you want to. I love your company.
I want to sit here and say hi to Rio and Wagner, so just leave me alone, man.
Sorry, man.
Just kidding. I will hand the headset over because I'm going to get a charger for Vico's iPhone so he can check his emails in the middle of the heat again a little more.
quick question.
Thank
Not
you,
a question,
Benjamin.
actually, more of a statement. I really like Ren Hashimoto surfing, and I like her personality as well. I got to meet her at the
What?
ISA in
You like-
Yeezer.
what?
I
What
like
you
Ren
like?
Hashimoto. Seriously.
You like? Well, that's great. I mean, like maybe like invite her for
I'm a
dinner
fan
or
of her.
something?
No,
not like
that type
that.
of liking.
Okay.
No, but last year in the Azores, she was competing at World Juniors, and we would ask her if she wanted to send a message to people at home, and she would say no. Just
Well,
over and over,
that's
and we would like,
cool.
hey, but talk a bit of Japanese for all the Japanese listeners. We have a lot of people from Japan actually watching, and she's like, no.
Well, yeah, I understand what you like her so much. She seems to be.
So she was she was super like full of personality. It was, and she surfed good. She had a great result.
Okay, as we are going back to live action and nothing is happening, unsurprisingly, as the tide is starting to rush in. This is the third hit of this Abanga Expression session. We have 15 minutes left of pure, perfect expression session. So many airs, so much potential in these waves, and these guys are really battling it out. All they want is one slot in the final to have maybe a shot at a 500 euros of cold hard cash.
Why am I talking about Ren
I
Hashimoto?
have no idea.
Because she's going to be in the final of this expression session on the women's side. As we go with live action, this is Green
Oh,
actually
Ice Cube.
throwing an air.
That's Ice Cube.
That's Ice Cube.
Wesley Dent,
Such small waves, and he spins fast. Always a fast spinner.
he's a fast spinner. As you can see, some swimmers are actually, whether like brave or drunk or both, enough to actually enter the water that is 14 degrees in this blazing sun afternoon. It can be hot in the sun, it's actually pretty cold in the water, and this is once again Coupe de Gel, Wesley Dent going really fast on this really small wave. Bearing in
him
mind,
go.
he's like something like 90 kilos, like 195 pounds. And he's just advancing. It's a big board he has, though, but he can fly really well. And
And now,
is up and riding.
This is our surfer in blue, Wesley Late, if I'm not mistaken.
yep, Wesley Milk, good name as well.
Cole Hauschman in red.
Wait. So did he change his name? Because he used to be called Hashman. Now it's Hashman, like Hashman. Like
I have no idea.
maybe it's another Cole.
As we go now with live action, this is our surfer in white, and
That's Luan Carvalho from Brazil. I think he won the World Juniors ISA back in Ecuador a few years ago. Was the watch
Whoa.
out. Jesus! Cuidado com a prancha. pá. The wind is not really onshore, which is not really helping these guys. And you can get this straight up the face if you are not really careful.
I'm super surprised he's not using a leash, because with all that wind, the board can really go away, and he has no way of holding onto the board, and that board can go all the way down to Marnella and then hit the
or
rocks.
even to the Azores. You never know. You never know. Red trying to find something to do, and right now he's still trying.
He is.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Look at... Oh, yeah, that was good. But I don't think it was deemed as complete. Seems to be happy, though. That was another red. That was cool.
That was
Hashman.
cool. Go Hauschman.
I think it's Houseman, but let's call Hashman now. Maybe change his name for the expression session, like with the IRS. You get some cash. You never know. So Cole Hashman is rocking the second red jersey, because we have Wesley Dentes, the Brazilian Ice Cube, is rocking the red as well. And as you can see, the bluff is packed. It's littered with human beings, all happy to... Oh, that's a really short, really bright neon yellow, kind of like bathing suit.
So, talking about Galicia, just this morning we had a very late call, which was at 2:30. It was afternoon,
Yeah,
of course,
you don't
so
say
it wasn't in the
2:30
morning.
in the morning. Okay. Oh, sorry. And
It was 2:30 p.m. So I went sightseeing,
Where?
which is one thing you can do in Galicia.
Okay.
Just on top of that mountain on the left. and you went golfing. So
went
that just
golfing,
comes
yep.
to show that there's a lot on offer for people coming here. You can enjoy a perfect summer day, as most of the people are doing at Pantin Classic Galicia Pro by Pull&Bear. You can go golfing. You can go sightseeing. There's a beautiful trekking starting at 4:30 p.m. that started at 4:30 p.m. and is going all the way till 8 p.m. That's going to be a historical route around Pantin. There's so much stuff to do here. It's actually cool.
Yeah, and as I really suck with Google Earth, we went with Nico Leroy on Media God for the WSL Europe. We chose I think the furthest golf course ever, so we had to just cross half of Galicia to go to a golf course placed on the other side of São Joaquim de Compostela, which is one of the biggest pilgrimage sites in Europe when it comes to our fellow Christian
Santiago?
and believers. So we went to Santiago, we just went past, and we saw so many guys with really weird hat and big boots, just like going line after line, all walking towards São Joaquim de Compostela. And this is basically kind of what you guys have in Portugal, which is Fatima. In France, they have Lourdes. There's the kind of this like hot spot when it comes to Christian believers, and the site itself is gigantic. The building itself is looking pretty
Massive.
spanking new.
Yeah.
And there was, I would say, at least we must have been passing by at least 200 walkers, and it was 7:30 in the morning. Yes, because not only I was wrong with the golf course, I was wrong with the hours of opening as well. Good job for me. So we could just like cross whole Galicia and saw so many walkers going up to São Joaquim, and I think it's Saint Jack of Compostela in English. I have no idea. I'm not really good with religion, but
Me neither.
it was pretty interesting to see all these different generations and a lot of different countries, like Japanese. We had plenty of French, Spanish, Portuguese going all the way up.
I think the pilgrimage in English is called Santiago's Way.
That's great. And that's 1 point more in your little bonus stars for being a good pupil at school. Good job, Diogo.
Thank you.
As we still don't have no idea whatsoever about who's winning or what time is remaining, but you know what? It's okay, because that's an expression session. This is the second to last day of this Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. It's a QS 6000 for the ladies and a 3000 for the boys, as we are putting the regular event straight to a 9 a.m. call tomorrow morning, hoping the swell will pop up earlier than scheduled. I was trying to, I really failed in showing the forecast on the screen before with my phone because I had no battery, but in any way, we do have some more swell coming during the second part of the morning. So this should be looking like that early in the morning, and as the tide will start pushing back in the early afternoon, how many heats do we have to run, Diogo, to conclude and crown two champions?
18 heats.
18 hits?
18 heats. And the interesting thing is the guys that eventually make it to the final will have served 4 heats. But this is if we keep the original format of the event, which is to go on man. If we decide on changing that for some reason that we are not counting on, or not counting with, I should have said, at the moment, we will possibly go into 4 men heat or women.
Well, the thing is, right now the girls are already in the quarterfinal. Okay, boys are round of 16. Round of 16 is quarterfinal with 4 surfers.
Yeah.
Usually we just like slice that in 2, and we get out of 16 surfers there. We just get then to the quarterfinal man and then semis and final. So
yeah.
I would hope that with such big swell coming up, we will have a kind of momentum and inertia in the swells. And like, okay, it's gonna just like start popping back with the tide starting to change. But I would not be surprised if we have one first call by 9, nothing really happening, some guys warming up, and then from that, a call maybe like every hour. So it's gonna be a long day, like usually on the last day of the Pantin Classic, because it's such a big event. And what's gonna be happening is that we will potentially start with the boys, as we do have more rounds to do.
We do.
And it will depend on how early we can start. But in any way, the good thing in Pantin, we are on the 1st of September. So tomorrow we will still have a lot of light until, let's say, when Dimi was doing her sesh behind the deck yesterday, I think it was something like 8:45, 9, it was starting to get dark. So even if we were to start slightly late in the afternoon because the tide and the swell are still not there, if we were to start at something like 4:30 or 5,
You'd still have plenty of time.
we'll have plenty of time to crown the 2 new champions, or not new, because we still have a lot of previous event winners. We could crown them tomorrow in the golden sunset light.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time that an award ceremony here at Pantin would take place at night.
No, we usually push it a lot. Big change this year as we do have to respect the gender equality. So this is why we have a 6,000 for the girl and a 3,000 for the boys. You need to match the prize money. So we have 6,000 for the ladies. It's a massive event for the girls. It's the second to last 6,000 point QS of the season. There will be a 3,000 in Japan. It will be in October. But before that, they need to get the points. And we do have some pretty important surfers that are trying to match their success right now on the QS with some better results at the CT, so they can re-qualify. We have Nikki Van Dijk, who won before. We have Sage Eriksson, she won twice here. We said a little goodbye to a few of our former event winners, as Green. I think he's surfing switch, I hope. No, maybe he's not.
Going fast, though.
Yeah.
I always wonder, and I was having this conversation earlier today, how early these guys can get on a wave and how they can start surfing a wave before it's actually a wave and it's just like a start of a wave. As we see blue, that's Wesley Milk. And the technique, the positioning and the momentum they can carry all the way from the takeoff to actually be riding a wave. It's always impressive. I guess that's why they're professionals and the rest of us aren't. But I'm always impressed by that.
Well, it's just about body placement and weight transfers. But just trying to push and basically rape this maneuver, but he was not able to complete that. As we have another option there. We have Surfer in Green that is placed really by the shoreline. And there's a second green here. As you can see that the wind is entering in a slightly different fashion now. The tide is pushing in. And the offshore is bumping off the cliff and towards the ocean, so that gets this kind of like side offshore, which is even worse than before, as Red is doing a great job at not doing an air, but he's doing a lot of turns, so maybe it counts.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly the longest wave we have surfed in the past 2 heats.
I was really excited by that, really.
Remember last year, we didn't have an expression session, but what we did have was a heat with Pantin legends, local legends like surfers from 20 and 30 years ago that were in the prime of their careers, just local epic surfers, and it was absolutely great to see them honor this event in its 30th edition.
As I'm trying to fish for information with the always so shy and soft voice of Blake. Blake, you can talk now. As Ben, our producer, is asking me to ask you and to tell you boys and girls online that first, thank you for being so patient and so tolerant in actually spending your Saturday afternoon or morning with us. That's showcasing that you love surfing or you're just like really into weird stuff, because today is the expression session presented by Abanca, which is the bank.
Literally, the bank.
The bank. The bank is the brand name of a bank. So it's called Abanca. And Abanca is organizing a little expression session today because it's not big enough, not consistent enough to run the final heats of this double QS for the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. So what could be done as well on the side of production is putting a nice looking graphic banner saying this is the expression session from Abanca, as we will not be running any hits of the Pantin Classic Galicia Pro 2018 today. The next call is tomorrow at 9 a.m. as we do expect a push in the swell during the morning, maybe not, but more in the afternoon. We do have a few hits to run, And as you can see, GMT +1 here. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so just set up your alarm clock if you are living on the other side of Earth, because tomorrow at 9 we will be back with more action. Right now, it's not finished, as we're having so much fun. So we do have an extra 2 hits to do, plus the final, as 2 of these surfers, as far as I understand this really interesting format, are punching through to the final, whatever they're doing. The crowd is just clapping, and it's a clapometer kind of thing. As we can see some lines, the tide is pushing in, the surfers are waiting patiently for the waves standing on the bottom floor. And let's see if any taker on this one. No. So yes, no action for the QS side of things.
Ooh, look at these lines coming.
I'm so excited right now because this looks like a wave. Most likely it will just feather down and vanish, let's face it. But it's a good sign because as these lines will reach the higher mark of the tide, it may be actually materializing into a wave. So let's see Blue having a look on this fat wave, red as well. Okay, party wave, yay. Mr. Hashman and Mr. Blue, which is
I hope these
Wesley Leitchi.
As you were saying, I hope these are the signs of the new swell push starting to push in.
I love that. White is up and running. It may have a connection, but no. The wave is just dying. Blue is out of there. And there's a 500 euros for the men's winner, and there will be 500 euros for the ladies' winner. We will just have one hit for the ladies, a hit with 9 girls. It's going to be pretty fun. We're going to have Dominique Barona, Lucia Cosotelo, Lucia Indurain, Josefina Ane, Tessa Thyssen, Sarah Wakita, Ren Hashimoto, Sage Erickson, and Nikki Van Dyke. Ready's up.
As we see red.
And we are counting down this third hit of the day in a dynamic fashion. Cole Hashman, which is Houseman. I don't know if he went through. It's body language, you know, never know. Let's have a look at the best wave surfed in that hit. Yep, that's one of them. Ooh, little blowtail from Ice Cube.
Yeah, this is the last wave of Wesley Dentes, younger brother of Wigali Dentes, and Suelen Naraisa.
Yeah,
our women's competitor from Brazil that has competed here in the past. No longer does the QS full time, but is also related to the Dantes brothers.
Sounds pretty cool, Dantes brothers.
Like the Dalton brothers.
Yeah, the Jonas brothers. Who do you think, in your own opinion, in your expert opinion, who is the hottest of the Jonas brothers, Diogo?
Of the who?
The Jonas brothers.
The Jonas. I have no idea. The Jonas, the middle one. How many of them are there?
What? You don't know the Jonas brothers?
I do not.
God, such a disappointment, Diogo.
Sorry
really?
about that.
Oh, I was... No, really?
Does middle one... Does that not work as an answer? Are there only two?
No, you need to name them. God.
I have no idea.
Okay, 6 o'clock, and that's a big disappointment because he doesn't know the Jonas brothers. New expression session hit from Abanca, the bank, with Vicente Romero, Alex Ribeiro, Vitor Ferreira, Jale Batiste, and Carlos Cali Puravida Munoz.
Is this hit number 4?
This is hit number 4 on your screen with so many surfers. Such an exciting hit on the paper, maybe not in the water, as Diogo is going to go straight into jonasbrothers.com and just try to get some culture. Ben Way will be joining me in the booth for yet a fantastic and also exciting expression session hit. The swell seems to be slightly better, or let's say less worse than before. As you can see, that's a set wave, for example. That's the best we can find, sadly. And let's see now if Blue is having a look. Oh, Blue wants a piece of that. That's Alex Ribeiro from Brazil, former city surfer. And joining me in the booth is the ever so charismatic Ben Way. Ben, how are you? What did you do in these last 9 minutes and a half?
9 minutes and a half?
Yeah, that's what you've been doing. You've been going.
You were counting?
No, I'm not. Nobody's counting, but still 9 minutes and a half.
Yeah, you don't have to watch over my break time. No, I'm just kidding. I was looking out on the scene, see what's going on. Taking an overlook of the place where these guys are sitting. We just sent Carlos Munoz out. He asked me for the local knowledge because he did see me surf before him this morning. He said, what's the option? I told him, out in the morning, we had the Cerro Huaquita Peak. That's where he's sitting right now. That's the name of that officially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the whole.
When the tide goes back, you'll see it scratched in the. Oh no! I guess maybe
it's gone with the tide.
It's gone, isn't
You
it?
can't fight in the sand.
You just can't keep a good thing, can you?
Oh.
So I haven't gotten any more serious. I've actually deteriorated. But here we go. Carlos taking my. Let's see if this works out. He's on my peak here, and see if he's going to punch me in the face or congratulate me or thank me. It's not a bad little runner, and that is definitely the Cerro Huaquita inside bar. I told him the one thing is that peak is sheltered by the bluff. So that's the one place that you don't have to worry about the offshores. Where these guys are sitting, these guys meaning blue, red, and green.
And white and green
and white
blue and
more.
This guy with the
There's
yellow
more
helmet.
over there?
There's so many of them.
So over there is where the bluff ends, and you have this kind of open chute for that offshore wind to just funnel through and speed up and pick up more energy. So I think that the guys over on the right are dealing with, as you can see here, is basically just fighting wind.
Such a good turn. No.
So neither of the spots have really turned on with the incoming tide yet, but the one factor that we're dealing with is as that tide comes in a little closer, where Carlos is sitting is going to be a little bit more relaxed. And we did surf that same peak with Carlos, if you do recall, when we were in...
3 days ago, 2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago? Time just goes so fast.
We're having fun.
Even when you're not... No, it goes slower when you're not having fun.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
So that day, it was like we were kind of pulling our boards through slime.
That was disgusting. That was, oh my God, that was so gross. Oh my
and
God.
Today the slime is gone. Do you remember slime? The toy slime?
Yeah. And now they have this little stuff.
You were around in the 80s. You were yeah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm an 80s boy. Okay, I was born 1980s.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. And my daughter's friend have this new slime stuff, just like a glass, and then you have like slime inside, and when you just like put your finger in it, it farts. it's called farting slime. You just like put it, and the kid just like, and do that all day long. That's just terrible. I think it's great.
That's quite distracting. I'm glad Diogo doesn't have one of those right now. That is, you're always so informative. I swear.
Farting slime.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid, and here goes red. You wouldn't know that term, would you? Because they didn't have Toys R Us in France, did they?
Of course they had. They were everywhere.
How was their song? Okay, see? Now we've got an actual wall here, and Carlos Munoz is producing the most speed.
Oh, Green.
I'm not going to take credit for sending him out to that bar, but yes, I am actually. As Green is about to break his fins off in the sand.
Like a replay of that one. The Green was surfing on kind of the same line behind, but you can see he's laying. That's a proper layback.
I wonder how many fins he has left on his board.
I don't think he needs fin anyway. Oh, we have body surfers as well there. Oh, we can see the replay of Green. That was a fantastic inside runner, like literally, because he ended up running on the sand. So, Benway, take it to the replay on this one.
Okay, so he had started here, driving across. Boom, got out of the water. Oh, is this Halle Batista?
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking.
Watch out. Watch this. There's no wave whatsoever. There you go. He
did land on the nose, and he didn't take his fins off. I'm glad we did there. And even if he had a gloss coat surfboard when he started, it ended up a sanded finish, at least in the nose portion.
True. As you can see, the crowd now enjoying this really cool Saturday. I think it's the hottest day of the whole week. Like a really, really warm wind. It's like 27, 28 degrees in the sun, just enjoying life. Maybe not that much in the water, but you know what? It's okay. It's kind of a day off, but not being a day off, because every single surfer, which is one of the only things that we can see here in Pantin and not on the other even sites, that the guys come back every day. There's so many things to do at the contest site that the guys just like enjoy life. Well, of course, they have free Wi-Fi that helps as well. But
basically nothing else to do in town except for this. This is what you do if you're in town.
I was just trying to like really positive about how they like the contest site and how it's well done. You just said basically there's nothing else than just coming here. Really? That's what you're just going with that?
No, I'm saying it's the party of the summer.
Okay, good.
Don't
Great.
leave yourself at home.
No, just come and join us at the Pantin Classic.
Yeah, don't be drinking a cup of coffee by yourself, crying over your Instagram likes.
Yeah.
Let's come
Turning
down
into
here,
a bowl of sadness.
put the iPhone down, mingle with the people. Speaking of mingling with the people,
Oh, I don't like when you
things
talk
are
like
about
that.
to get really dangerous as I go out and talk to some people who've been drinking for the last 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, that's going to be good. They're just ripe to be taken.
So, Tristan Guilbeault
Tristan Guilbeault.
said that he was actually entertained by us. And I said, wow, people actually watch this? And we do know that 300 people were watching in the last heat, which actually kind of shocked us into shape, didn't it?
I just think that's... Come again? 320. We just reached 20 more viewers in like 30 minutes. This is just like exploding. So yeah, boys, girls online.
What is the exact rate of expansion? Do we have a spec sheet for that? Or, never mind, stats?
I don't know. As Ali Batista, no. So yeah, 320 viewers. That I think one of the highest stats of the whole history of live webcasts. And thank you guys for not having any kind of social
see how
life.
he just did the standing takeoff?
That's the best one. That's the best kind.
I have a fun fact about Haile Batista. The first time he showed up to Japan, it was at a contest in Hyuga, Miyazaki, one of the southern islands, where we do our LQS and our WQS. Let's watch this. Okay, so there was absolutely nothing. I could tell that was going to happen. So he entered both divisions.
Longboard and
shortboard.
Yeah.
When we said, who is this guy? First heat on the longboard, first wave of his first heat, he blasted an air 2 feet above the lip of like a 4-foot wave. Haile Batista on an EPS longboard. And then he went nuts on the shortboard, ended up getting first in the final of the shortboard and second in the longboard. And it's like,
he's just a freak. The first time he came to the Azores, at the time for the QS, for the Prime events, it was perfect San Miguel, like really, really good, like left and right, barreling, everything. He just went in the water and served his hits, somehow broke his board during his hits, and had no backup whatsoever. He was just like body surfing, was like, what do I do with my 2 pieces of a board? I have no board left. I'm leading with one really good score, but then I have nothing. There's still 15 minutes to go. So he just like ran up the cliff and was asking to all surfers around if actually they could just like lend him a board.
Was someone
and Marco Lacomar said, yeah, of course, take this one. So Marco is not the same body shape as Haile. Haile is like
Marco Lacomar.
Yeah, Haile is like 190 and basically 65 kilos. Marco is like 180 and 85 kilos, so different thickness and everything.
Speaking of body surfing,
there you go. Haile Batista just took that board, put a leash on, went out there, got one single wave like 6.5 in a QS, in a prime QS. Second wave got a 10. Booyah.
Mark Lacomar has some pretty nice boards as well.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at that. That's actually a QS wave for surfer in blue wood.
My goodness. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. You know why?
Because?
Because the tide is finally moving over that weird little hump on the inside. And so we're seeing the second part of the day option, which is this inside long stretching connection. As we're about to see Carlos Munoz. Nope, he's not going to go for that one.
That's Victor Fede on his backhand. As people online, you are watching the Abanca expression session. These are a few hits in the afternoon. We're just trying to keep the crowd entertained and the surfers busy, as we don't really have, as you can see on your screen, the required... oh, that was pretty cool. Late spinner on this tail slide. And look at this guy in Speedo. He's just like, wow, that was really cool. My Speedo is so cool as well. Great direction of the image here, as we have a full spinner and a Speedo.
In Europe, you have more options than Speedo. There's a few brands that make those size of shorts, I'm pretty sure.
So how would you call that, a banana hammock? Oh, look at that. Look at that, spinning around.
Oh, and he got that action close up, but he probably took a headshot because he was a little too close. So there are a lot of people down on the beach. And since this is a family show, we're not showing you the right side of the beach where people have tops optional. But as I was walking down the beach,
not at all on this side. Not at all on this side, of course, because you.
I didn't take that option because it was closer. It is. It's actually closer to the lineup.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it is summer here, and things are a little bit distracting. And I felt like, what was the video when you saw Tom Curran in France, and he was just kind of like...
Endless Summer 2?
Is that what it was?
That was Pat O'Connell.
Oh, it was Pat O'Connell
Yeah.
in France. I'm sorry.
Ali Batista, little foam climb. And that was almost a rail turn, as now he's getting on the inside section, chasing a ramp and a speedo man. Ooh. I can't really spin this one around.
He almost stand-up paddled that thing back. As Red...
Oh, nice foot placement there on the second half of the spinner.
It almost looked like he was trying to focus his skateboard.
Yep.
Do you know, are you familiar with that term?
Not really a good skateboarder because I'm size 13 and a half. So basically, I have like half of my feet on both sides of the board.
Focus is something that we would break our boards on purpose, or because people would get really angry because you're young and
like
you've got a lot of angst.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was when you would jump up, put one foot into the center of the skateboard, and break it in half. And while I was going to talk about Ali Batista and his broken in two pieces board, there was an Instagram clip recently of some skater who had a broken board, started by placing 3/4 of the deck that was left on the back truck, did a nose manual about 50 feet in a circle, and then placed his board back onto the trucks. It was pretty darn cool, and I know someone has seen that. If you have, please send me a message, and I will mention your name for being one of our coolest of the 320. Ask Ben Blake if we have 322
have we
viewers
reached
now.
321? We just want the update. Oh, 299. No, something's wrong. We just need to count. 29. We just lost 21.
Okay, I'm going to have to go talk to drunk people. It's obvious. Something has to
Oh,
happen.
301 is getting up. We should have this graph, like how many persons don't have social life and actually spend their Saturday afternoon watching idiots online.
Hey. You leave Rio and Wagner alone. Rio and Wagner,
Say hi to my mom as
I
well.
hope you're not the reason that we dropped down to 300. If Rio and Wagner went to go make a sandwich, why don't you go make yourself a quesadilla, Napoleon? What just happened? So Green just actually pulled off. Green pulled off a little pop, chop hop, little alley-oop on the inside, looking lively, and so I like what's happening here. And we have Red, and White has moved over to my option. I didn't coach White, I coached Red, and we're about to see Red on the Cerro Wakita Peak here. He's putting on the brakes. Are we going to have a chance for something here? Carlitos, leave those fins on that nice board.
Up and riding on the backhand. That's Vitor Ferreira.
Was
Just
that,
behind. Oops. Yep.
that was Carlos, or did Red and Red switch positions?
Yeah, they have this kind of shift. So first Red gets in the first part, and they just like change after.
I hope they high-fived on the way to the other side.
If not, if they don't tag, it's not working.
That's true. There's a very picturesque sailboat out on the outside of our bay.
Oh yeah.
Getting a little bit more out of this wind than the surfers are. What just happened? I hear people screaming.
That's Sage Eriksson going down the bluff. Not jumping off, she's just going down the bluff. She's going to be surfing on the expression session for the ladies because this highly, highly intense hit of expression session is about to go off in 5 minutes as we're going to be going straight to the ladies division.
That was heat 4 already?
Yeah, I know, right? It goes fast.
Can't we add another final? Can we add more? Okay, so we're hearing some important information.
Yeah, a question from Matt, as actually we have our director just like talking to us through one earpiece and reading the comments. And Matt is asking, is that a QS 6000? Well, Matt, thank you for joining us online. I hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon. No, it's not, but yes, it is. It's a QS 6000 for the ladies, a QS 3000 for the men, and today is actually a day off when it comes to QS part of things. We are running a expression session presented by one of our sponsors, a banca, which is the bank in English. And as you can see, Matt and all the 298 other viewers, it's not looking that good when it comes to size, so we just try to get the crowd entertained and the surfers some Saturday afternoon activity before going back to the Galicia tent in the late afternoon. Oh, that's a nice turn here.
So, did you see Halle Batista's little air to fake just now?
Of course, no, because it was off screen.
No, did you see it?
I did not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh,
What
so you're
happened?
going to be pleasantly surprised too.
I just can't wait to see a replay of this glass of green if we can get this fished out of the archives of our data.
Speaking of fishing, remember when I made a really stupid comment about couldn't we just pull a shrimp boat and take all that kelp out to sea? Mm-hmm. Which sounds really American. Hey, man, just get that seaweed out. Kill it all. I'm sorry. So anyways, there is a law that you can't touch the seaweed or take it out of the sea that I've heard. And here we go. Halle Batista not getting hung up on any of that. That's the highest we've seen a tail come out of the water, at least.
Yes.
And it was better than the first time he tried that.
Yep, I do agree. As Haley, I think, is leading that heat. We don't really have clear information about who's leading, what's the requirements, what's the time remaining, but we don't really care because it's one hit after the other and it is not an official WSL event per se. It's a little activity in the afternoon, pre-beer or post-beer or during beer for the most brave. As Red is waiting for something on the inside, the wave is not doubling up and will not provide him with anything as it's 6:25 in the elbow, mate. And we will switch to the ladies really soon. Thank you, and thanks to you, Matt, for being a great Matt. You're the best Matt that we've met today, right? Yep, or second best, like top two. Great.
He's going to be second to the beer mat at the Estrella Galicia tent. Sorry, Matt, I didn't mean that. So here we go. This is a lot of... Hey, don't catch me lying down and being lazy and being... This looks like our living room. It feels like my living room. So, so far, Halle Batista is what could be one of our advancing surfers in this round.
No,
you like that switch, how we pretend to be someone that's respectable?
Yeah, of course. So, no, the wave was doing like this. And then... And tomorrow it's going to be like... Because we have 16 seconds, 5.5 foot. Right now we have 2 foot and 6 seconds. We got to get something way bigger, more substantial. The swell's going to be coming, I would say, halfway through the day. So we're going to have to play a little waiting game. I like this carve.
That was lovely.
Mm-hmm. And he's having a good wave selection, this surfer in red.
I have to say something. Just like an angry soccer dad, I told Carlos Munoz to take that peak that we just saw the other red on, and since he migrated over with the other surfers, we haven't seen him take a wave. I'm gonna have a talk with my old Puta Vida buddy. So, how much time do we have? I
have no idea. Flip of a coin, I would say 2 minutes and 13 seconds, around that.
No matter how much time that is, it's not enough for me.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I was really
not
close.
Enough for me.
I was really close.
How many seconds now?
I would say maybe
20 seconds.
I would say like 19 seconds. Maybe.
David Prescott. How many seconds do we have?
Oh, little David, you're so naive.
That wasn't David Prescott.
No, that's Mikael.
Mikael, I didn't ask you for how much, but no, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mikael. 10 seconds now. And so, we don't see anyone in position to take a wave. And that is how it goes. And so I know you, as well as Diogo, want to know the opinion of our finely intoxicated buddies on the beach.
Oh, yeah. We want, but keep in mind, we need you to, as you are talking to them in Spanish, to have like a quick translation, because as much as Diogo and myself understand Spanish, maybe not all of our viewers can get Spanish, and I don't want to be dropping like 50 or 70 viewers, which is like half of what we have, because they can't get translation.
Okay, in exactly the opposite, we're going to actually be starting to have some Spanish lessons. So maybe our views will go up, as you can get free Spanish lessons from drunk people. No, I'm not the drunk one, and I'm going to be one giving the lessons, but I wish I was. And so how about Mr. Show Off, Ben Blake, our producer? Do you have your rates on, or your stats of how many of those views are Spanish-speaking countries? Bet you don't.
I don't think he will.
Touche.
No, he said no, I don't.
Okay, Ben Blake.
Mm-hmm.
I love him nonetheless.
Well, who say that? Milo, we love you as well. Oh God, look at that graph. And we have half of the QS tour on one single heat with so many shades of green and blues and red. So this is what we do when we don't have anything to do. We just pile up every single person to one single heat. And how many points of QS combined do we have? People online, this is now your challenge. Just check all that and add up all the QS points for all these heats of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 surfers. The first one who gets the right answer, and I still don't actually have the proper answer, you will get a digital high five by Ben Blake. And that's Dominic Barona, I think, in green. I have no idea what this is. Hey, yeah, that's good surfing. Tell me, Ben.
Vico.
Yes.
Which I didn't notice, but if I go asking drunk people how much of a good time they're having, that screws up the rotation because you've just done 2 heats, and I know people really love your voice, but do you need a break?
I don't even like my voice.
Do you need a break?
My mother. Do
you want to take a break?
On the phone. No, I'm okay. I'm okay, thank you.
You're fine?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really?
Dude, I'm fine. It's okay, I guess.
Are you going to be jealous if I end up doing the men's final with Diogo? No, that wouldn't make sense, right?
I don't know. I mean, whatever, but still.
All right, so we're going to put Diogo in for 1. I'm going to go talk to drunk people. I'm going to try not to take the beer out of their hand. There's probably none left because it's so good. The cups are all empty. Well, we'll see that. That's going to be, we're going to see exactly, we're going to do a little test. We're going to see how many people actually have beer in their cup and how many people have empty cups. And then I'm going to make sure that they take those empty cups to the trash bins that we have on.
Yes, please.
Because we do have offshores, and that will send those cups off the bluff.
Where is she?
This surfer
She's on the Wakita
surfing.
Peak. This is Sarawakita.
Nope.
No, that's Ren Hashimoto.
Nope.
No, that's Benway.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on
here.
yourself. We have no idea who she is, but she's looking that she got a good wave.
It looked like Amado Suzuki.
That was exactly what was not written on any single hit draw, so that may be her.
Hold on a second. Just hold on in 1 second. Okay. Did you hold on?
Yeah, I did. And
how many people held on? 310?
I think we must have been like having a spike in the...
Okay, well, don't log off now.
Ben Blake. 311. Oh, we're going slowly back up. This is good. This is good. We may be reaching 325 in like, depending on what you do on the beach.
Is that like an economy Porsche, the 311?
God. Okay. 6:32. So Milo, thank you for being yourself. As he was saying that it is more entertaining than watching Netflix. Well, if you're by yourself, yes. If you're not, I don't know. In any way, Diogo Alpendre is back in the booth or in the tipi, which is, well, not even a tent anymore, as we are closing this event tomorrow. So once again, people online, if you're brave enough to connect with us, this is the second to last day of this Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro, a 6,000 QS for the ladies and a 3,000 QS for the men. Tomorrow we're going to be having a check-in at 9 o'clock GMT +1, so check your clocks as it's 6:32 and 42 seconds at its saying on the bottom left of your screen. This is local time. We are running today an expression session to keep our surfers busy and our crowd happy, entertained, and mostly drunk. So the idea for us is trying to get these guys some show, just trying some nice little turns. We have 1,000 euros given by our good sponsor Abanca, which is the bank. So I think they're going to go straight then to the ATM they put on the contest site and just like withdraw 1 grand and split it evenly between the ladies right now in the water and the boys who are now, I think, more aware of who's going to be surfing in the final for the men. This is the final for the lady, and Diogo Alpendre, our little prince from Portugal, is just frothing at all this fantastic potential of great non-surfed waves.
Yep, no wave surfed. Today is a late day here at the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro, as you mentioned, so it's Pantin and chill on this Saturday night.
I see what you're doing there at Pantin, Netflix. Oh, I got that. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Pantin and chill here at the Pantin Classic. Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. This is the end, almost the end of an exciting and action-packed week that started actually last week, Friday, with the
We've been there forever, no?
Pantin Junior Pro by Gadish, and now it's the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. Another thing I would like to mention, how awesome was Aritz Aranburu in the water this morning. He was absolutely incredible. He had a lot of people from TAG with a surf class, and he was just teaching a lot of kids, a lot of older people, older than kids, regular age kids.
So how old were they?
I have no idea.
I mean, we are all kids.
20s, 30s, 40s. And he was getting everyone excited, pushing them in waves and just getting them pumped on surfing. So Aritz Aranburu, ever a great ambassador for the sport. And up and riding is blue.
Great wave selection. And she kicks out. So yeah, Aritz is a legend here. He was on the CT. He's heading from the beautiful Basque town of Sarauz. And Aritz Aranburu got 33 or 34, I think, a couple of days ago. So that was his birthday. He qualified thanks to Pantin on the CT. That was, I think, 9, 10 years. I was still judging on the tour at the time. I think it's like 10 years ago. And just to give you an idea of how famous Aritz is, he used to be the second website platform through his website, aritzaraburu.com, as a pathway to the online shop for Quicksilver worldwide. So all Spain were actually connecting to Aritz's, through Aritz's, to get all their goods from Quickie online. So that's Sage Eriksson, and she looks pretty spiced up as she got this due to the beach, woo, and a little jump off the board. She's happy. She won here twice. She's right now on her way for yet another finals day, and she looks all pumped up. As you can see, the waves are pretty small, if not concave. The swell is not there yet, and you know what? It can be even worse later on as the swell disappears overnight. We do have a call at 9 tomorrow morning, but most likely we'll be starting the event only when the tide and size of the wave allow, which should be with the tide pushing in. That usually happens in the early afternoon this week, but the good thing as well is that there's high tide in the morning. The tide recedes all the morning until the beginning of the afternoon. So with luck, we can maybe run the round of 16 for the men, which is 4 heats of 4 surfers, before the tide gets too low. And then with the increasing tide and swell, we should have a nice little final afternoon. And oh, she's pushing her. That's good, but not working.
That was funny.
That was really funny. Green, green, red, red, blue, blue, and there's white as well. So right is up, and this is our unknown surfer, but I think it's Miss Suzuki.
She's sitting a bit further down to the left. She's sitting more on that central part of the beach, right in front of where we are sitting, while 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other surfers are to the spot of the right. That's the crowd on your screen at the moment. A very low-key day at the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro, but a beautiful one as I sneak a peek through our teepee and take a look at what's unfolding around us, and I can tell you these hills are alive with the sound of our beach announcers, just getting everyone pumped with this Abanca expression session. 1,000 euros up for grabs, and Red is up and riding on her backhand. That's Dominic Barona.
Mini Barona, Ecuador. Okay, Diogo, I have one question for you. I hope you can answer this one better than the one about who was your favorite of the Jonas Brothers. What's your favorite Spice Girls song?
They're all so good. I can't.
No, you don't. You won't skip away from this one. Come on, give me something.
There's the one where they don't say words, but they kind of hum.
No, they don't. That's proper words.
Sorry, I'm not big on the Spice Girls either.
Okay, so you're not into like Jonas Brothers or Spice Girls. What do you do? What's your jam, dude? What's your jam?
What's your jam?
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Oh my God, this is good. Red up and riding on this 1.5 foot snap of the top, after the crack of the lip. Oh, she puts all her body momentum there and almost died on this really, really, really sharp sand.
That was wild.
Look at that. Oh, she's happy. That's Momoto Totsuki.
She's happy. The crowd is right there in front of them. The surfers are pretty much 2 arms reach of where the crowd is. And we're going to take a look at the replay.
Yeah, great replay. This is really a major wave. Look at that. Pooh! Little snap. Pooh! And she goes down. I'm quite sure that if you're brave enough or drunk enough, you can go in the really cold water and high-five the girls while they are surfing.
Very quite possible.
As
we see lines approaching.
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Lines approaching, and there's a lot more people at this spot at the moment, as you can see from your screen. Who's in position? It's Domi Barona. No, it's not.
Yes,
we have a surfer. Yes, it is. Ooh. That offshore wind on your backhand, that's not your biggest ally or friend, as we see lines and lines approaching.
One good thing, Diogo, is that not having the QS run today was an excellent call, because that's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
And hopefully tomorrow's going to be better. We know that the swell is arriving. We don't really know when, but it will. As every single forecast has been confirming that. Cedricson up and riding. Oh, no, she will lose 13th priority. Oh, they're actually a big set, and that's a good thing for the beach announcers. This is the only time the whole career actually they can actually call the set. As a beach announcer on a normal surfing event, you can't call the set. You can't announce to the surfers when the waves are coming.
That's almost coaching, right?
Yeah, that's pure coaching. But on this one, we just want something to be done. As the tide keeps pushing in, we have now 2 options. Things are getting totally cray-cray here, as nobody's taking this first wave. And up and riding Mimi Barona, Ecuador.
Let me use all your surfing expertise and ask
you
something.
Lord, you're going to wide ground, this one.
This is wide up and riding. I like how... Wow.
Nice rail surfing, though.
It is.
I love her ponytail. Great ponytail, not too high, not too low, just the right height.
But I was going to ask you, so we see these lines approaching, and they start arriving here in Pantin, really close to the rocks on the right. But as soon as they make their way inside the bay, their energy shifts a bit towards the middle of the beach. Is that the wind, or is it the swell direction? Is it the refraction of the rocks? Is it a bit of
It's a bit of everything. We are facing northwest here, so the idea that the swell goes straight towards us, but as it's slightly more northwest, actually pure north, the waves are by themselves refracting off the rocks. Then the offshore wind, which blows from the land toward the ocean, comes into this U-shaped bay. So actually, you can see how effective the lineup gets. So these waves are entering the bay from the right-hand side of your screen, bounces off the rock, and the wind coming from the land is bouncing off the rocks and pushing the waves actually towards the left of your screen. That's a double refraction. It's called a refraction. Yeah, it's a technical term.
I've heard about it. As we see blue up and riding.
As we have this fantastic wave, we're going to go straight to some live action now, but then, she was going old school. Watch out then. And I think Benway is with one of our first really happy or maybe almost drunk spectator on the bluff. Ben, take it away, buddy.
Okay, as I told you guys, I'm going to come out on the bluff and we're going to start interviewing drunk people. First, I'm going to start with someone who's not drunk. Aquí tenemos Roberto, mi colega Roberto. ¿Qué tal, Roberto?
Muy bien, todo muy bien.
¿Cómo ves la acción?
Pues perfecta, un día fenomenal y la gente está disfrutando, creo que de nuestro mar y de nuestros deportistas, ¿no?
So he's saying he's enjoying the action, loving this beautiful ocean here and all the action that there is. Eres muy sano porque 95% tienen su estrella y tú con tu dulce de leche. So I'm saying that 90% of the people have Estrella de Galicia beer here. He's the only one with ice cream. It's basically the Spanish caramel. It's dulce de leche. ¿Qué tal? Pero está fundiendo. Estás haciendo un milkshake aquí en el sol.
Sí, la verdad que es la primera vez que tomo un helado, no tomo mucho helado, es la primera vez, pero bueno, sobre todo si es un helado gallego, como es de la marca Vico, pues mucho mejor.
Vas aprendiendo lo del ice cream.
Sí, sí, claro que se está aprendiendo.
So it's the first ice cream he's ever had in his life, and he's just kind of figuring out that when it gets hot, it melts. It turns into a milkshake. So there you have it. ¿Y has venido con unas amigas?
Con la familia.
¿Con la familia?
Con mi hijo, sí, sí, claro. Mi mujer, mis hijos, los novios y las novias de mi hija y de mi hijo, bueno, todos aquí bien.
Perfect. ¿Y qué tal están pasando?
Estoy más pringado.
Nada más que no tocas el micro y estás bien.
Ya, estoy perfecto además. No, muy bien, Mucho calorcito. Bueno, no hay muchas olas, pero se está muy bien.
So he's got sticky fingers. He's learning how to eat ice cream as well, and he's enjoying the sunshine, enjoying all the action. Speaking of action, I just smoked over someone's ride. That was Nikki Van Dyke. So you guys are gonna need to see a replay for me carrying on too long. Let's take it back to you in the booth because we got more people, and I'm gonna try to find drunker people for the next one.
Thank you, Ben. Well, Roberto, I mean, he was feeling almost guilty of having an ice cream. Like, it's my first time. I don't think that if Roberto is who he thinks he is, he has a full family, he has plenty of kids, he can't be having ice cream for the first time. I call BS on that one. It can't be the first ice cream. He's just learning that it melts. Come on, Roberto. We know you better.
That's scripted. There's no way that's the first time that Roberto is having ice cream and that he didn't know that the ice cream melts in the sun.
I don't believe that. I'm not buying it, Roberto.
Wow.
That's at least a second one.
At least a second.
I don't know.
He even said the brand. He really paid attention to the first ice cream he was going to ever have in his life. As we're going to take a replay of some waves that happened during that interview. As
Look at that. Nikki Van Dyke, floater re-entry on a really sharp section there, and she completed the turn. And that was the only replay, so plenty of action as you can see. They're having fun, but it's just a cool Saturday afternoon. They're gonna be dancing tonight like they did last night. It was pretty fun, and they're gonna have some ice creams as well because they are not drinking any alcohol. They are professional surfers, and Red having a look. She won that really bad. That's.
Mimi Barona.
Is she? No, I don't think she is. I don't think that's Mimi.
No, that's Tessa Thyssen, sorry.
That's Tessa Thyssen from St. Martin's, French West Indies.
That's a long way from where we are at the moment. But does she live there or does she live in France like most of the French professional surfers?
She spends, let's say, half-half. The surfing calendar for the girls is actually really packed at the beginning of the year with all events in Australia. So they do have to travel a lot on the first 6-7 months of the season, and as they are for the European, going back to basically home-ish on the European continent, it's a second to last big event for these girls. So she will going back home, take some time to just like surf back home. We just need to keep in mind how impacted this part of the world was last year with the tropical storms. So there's a lot of work still to be done, and Saint Martin has been surfing a lot. So yeah, just like Maud Le Car, for example, some part of the island still don't have power after 9 months. It's pretty dark. I know it was supposed to be like a fun afternoon. I just like brought that, and now I'm just like all sad. But no, it's. I just hope that somehow this year will be better as we're entering now the tropical storm season. She has a leash on?
That's Ren Hashimoto.
Ren, really? Oh, that's your friend.
That's one of my favorite surfers in this contest and in this heat. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. As you can see, the crowd is basically able to throw stones or kisses, or both, to our surfers in the water. They're really that close. There's a good, I would say, 1.5 feet of water depth. But at 13 or 14 degrees, if you had these exact events in any part of slightly more up the coast towards France in the summer, these people would be head high in the lineup because the water will be slightly warmer. This is the westernmost part of Spain, so we are just at the crossroad of all the currents. So water is 13 to 14 degrees, which is Celsius, centigrade, so in Fahrenheit should be something like low 60s, 70s. So ouchie, ouchie, you need to get your winter base coat on this one.
It was pretty chilly in the morning when we surfed.
I did not surf. I lost my way to the golf course, and I sucked at golfing. It was terrible. But anyway, it was good. to get out there and visit something more than this beautiful Bay of Pantin. We are in the Pantin area. There's plenty of great little towns, and the good thing is that it is really surrounded by water. The water just goes straight, like the ocean gets into the land so far in that you have like natural bays, and you have this massive industrial harbor around A Coruña.
You do, yeah,
And
that's right.
this is one of the most important ports and harbor, just top of Portugal, really well exposed to the British Islands as well. So this is the main path for all the boats that are following as well the Gulf Stream.
You know what? They call it Las Rias.
Which means?
Las Rias, it's... I like to put it as fjords because it's pretty much the same. It's just
What's fjord, Yogo?
fjords, like the geological formations in Norway that are really famous and beautiful for being so labyrinthical and really
Oh, you just
steep.
dropped a 6-syllable word. Labyrinthical. Boom. Come again,
yeah.
Ben Blake.
And there's a lot of places like that.
Let's quit the fjords and go back to Ben Way, who is not really Norwegian at all. Ben, what do you have for us, buddy, on the beach?
Your guys' timing is impeccable.
Speak, my boys, speak. And we're back with the action. This is Mimi Barone up and riding.
What? Look at that.
Ah, that was massive.
Good spanking. She's claiming that. I got one turn in, girls. I'm winning.
I wonder who's going to win this here. I would say that it's between Ren Hashimoto.
You know what? They're all winners.
They're all
They are
winners.
all
They
winners.
should just split the five.
Yeah, that
The
could be good.
500
Yeah,
between them.
they're like 300 in the water. So here, he's like €1. As Red having a look. Former event winner Nikki Van Dijk heading from beautiful Victoria. Oh, she just like dropped this one.
A bit down the beach, we have a split situation. This is one of the best waves we've seen in this heat.
I
This is
like that.
blue up and riding. Look at her go.
And she has jazz hands. I want to see replay of her hands, like really, really well composed, like overextended. She's really trying to get no mistakes. That was our surfer in blue, Sarawakita, our Vulcan team rider here. As you can see, a lot of water moving, not a lot of waves, and a lot of surfers. And this is, yes, only one hit. Like, hey, how many hits have only one? And the replay of Sarah Jazz Hands Wakita. Look at that. She went to split the peak as we're focusing on something else. And Red up and riding. This is Tessa Thyssen, backside snap of the top. And back to white and blue, and we focus on blue, Sarawakita. Look at her hands there. She's going to jazz. At the end, extends, and oof, massive spray. Fantastic commitment. That's at least a 1.7. But good thing, though, it's not AQS right now. It's an expression session, as maybe we're going to be cutting straight to Ben Way on the beach. I don't know. Ben? Oh, Ben is ready. He's hot and ready. Ben, take it away. Or not.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt 7 girls sitting dead in the water. It looks like Skittles from where I'm at, but actually we're going to see some live action right now. Let's switch back to live action, and I'm going to go talk to some more drunk viewers up here on the bluff as I see 4 girls riding.
And we're back on. Sorry
That
about
was
that.
right. Yeah,
So,
that was...
I like the fact that you maintain, like you're such a pro, that you just kept on talking. And I think
If
we
there's a
have bit of
replay, I'll
everything.
wait till the end of the replay.
No, I think now we're just like talking to Ben Way, but not to the rest of the world. So Ben, how are you?
Take it away, Ben. Now we're going to first watch the replay as we see Pink up and riding. This is Nikki Van Dijk.
Okay, well, sorry for these little
Mishap.
technical hiccups. Happens to the best, even to Ben Blake. It's Ben Way's one. Okay, okay. I see what you're doing, Ben Blake. It's just like not your fault. Just put this onto this like half Chinese boy. Okay, I get that. Okay, so time remaining, no idea. Who's leading? We don't know because we don't have any communication devices with... Actually, who's judging? Are we judging?
Judges are judging.
Okay, cool. So they must be happy with that. As we are now on the second to last hit of the day, as if you speak Spanish, the H is not silent at all. It's actually quite guttural and pretty scary. So you're coming from Hawaii and you had your hidro. And if you like a good surfer from Western Australia, it's called Tachbero. So 5 minutes before 7, and we are getting a little dramatically bad.
How many minutes?
It's 5 minutes before 7.
Oh, it's
I'm just a human clock. So actually, I'm just.
I'm gonna try and listen to our beach announcer and try and understand how many minutes are left in this heat. We had a 30-minute heat, and this
that's what, 30. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Ooh, barrel. As Pink having a look.
So, yep, this is.
This is who? Come on, Diogo.
I'm not sure who that is. I'm sorry.
That was not Nicky Van Dyke. That was not Nicky Van Dyke. That's Nicky Van Dyke.
This is Van Dyke.
Okay.
Van Dyke.
So who do we have? Come on.
It's backlit, so I can't really tell.
Oh, that's a lame excuse.
And we're going to take a look at who's up and riding. This is Ren Hashimoto.
She's on the option, and this one was a split pick. Oh, what? That's actually a really good turn.
That really is. That's a proper turn.
Yeah, Sarawakita. And green just behind. This is...
I would love if...
whoa. Is that Sage Eriksson in green now?
Yep, that is.
Did she change her vest?
It would be great if our production team could show us once again the infographics of who's in the water, because our little heat sheet is not updated. So if
it's actually handwritten by Ben Way, which is basically Braille, so we can't read that.
So it would be great if our production team could show us that again, so we can be sure who's in the water. Sorry about that, viewers at home. We are at a banca expression session, and things are getting interesting in the water as we hope for the start of the men's heat.
I can't wait. I am so frothing, you have no idea.
Yep, we'll soon hear from the crowd when they announce the winner, as they cheer for the winner. So Sarawakita is leading the way in this heat. I think Sarah is surfing in pink. No, she's in blue. Sarawakita is in blue.
God, you're such a mess, Diogo. In pink and in blue. Who is she? No. Yeah, Ichiban, so she's in the lead. Sarawakita in blue is... are you taking a selfie, Diogo? That's weird. It's not the right time. So Sarawakita Ichiban, so she's first in Japanese and first in Spanish. She's first everywhere. She got this really long wave, and it just pays off. So as you can see, 85 surfers in this heat and no winner so far but one. Sarawakita, she will be qualified to nothing. And it's a final of the women of the Abanca expression session.
It is.
We have no QS action today, as everything has been postponed to tomorrow. As you could actually guess, the waves are not really that good. But tomorrow, we have a call at 9 a.m. Local time is 7. So it's GMT +1. Set up your clocks, boys and girls online. And we will assess the conditions of this pushing swell that should be arriving during the day. We have the round of 16 for the men, quarters, semis and final. And we have quarters, semis and final for the ladies as well, the QS 6000, which is 14 hits for quarters, semis and final, both categories, plus an extra 4 for the men. As we may have a start of blue at the right of your screen. No, she's opting not to go way too deep. She could injure herself.
That's Lucia Cosoleto.
Yep, great surfer from Argentina. I knew it. And you can see the crowd is getting closer and closer. Suspense is just so intense right now, as you can actually walk to the peak, if we can call this a peak. And anyway, boys and girls online, sorry for this absurd behavior of ours.
Now on our screen we have Sage Eriksson, Ren Hashimoto, Sara Wakita, and we also have an unnamed surfer that wasn't supposed to be in this heat.
God bless her. She wants her $500.
So that's the reason why we are confused, is because there are people in the water that
No.
shouldn't be there?
No. That's not. We are confused. I was born confused myself, and at no point are we really focused on that today.
There's a set coming. Let's see who's going to be taking one of these waves. I see white paddling.
No, that's red, but that's Thyssen going out.
Yeah, but we were seeing white a bit down the line. That was
okay.
Josefina Ane making her way.
There's a set coming. Jogo, come on, get this call right, please. This is the surfer in blue, green, and red. Blue is up and riding. This is
our surfer in blue.
Good.
And according to our graphics, this is Sara Wakita.
No, that was not her.
And now, a bit further down, we have Nikki van Dijk and Josefina Ane, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, that's
sure?
I'm really sorry, but it's a bit backlit. I don't have a clear vision of who's in the water.
Well, that was a really, really hard-fought hit with only 82 surfers. And as you can see, we have some caddies by the beach as well, just giving back the stick to our surfers. So some of the rashes. And that's Sarawakita, who won this expression session. Sarawakita Ichiban, so she's first, and she must be happy. She got herself 500 euros, which will barely pay the board fee on her flight back home, but at least she had fun. And if you ask me, 500 bucks for just 2 turns on a 1-foot set, that's good money.
It is. So,
and as we have finally good news, with Ben Way ready to rock. Ben, take it away.
All right, and so here we are. We're out on the bluff with about 10,000 people over here. Oh, that's my voice. So we got 5 guys out in the water right now. I think it's 5. We got 4 guys? 5 guys. Okay, so we're starting to see some sets come in. We're going to see some action finally. I knew the tide would come in. We'll have those inside bars giving a little bit more, no more power and punch, and we might actually see a little bit of expression happen here. And see some guys scrambling for something that might happen here. Red got a little cheater 5 head dip. So we don't need to see that right now. We're here with some friends out on the beach checking this out. We have a couple girls here, my old buddies. María and Sara, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están pasando?
Bien, bien. ¿Y vosotros?
I'm good. We're good. So she said they're good. She asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing great. ¿Es la primera vez que vienes al Pantin?
Sí, es la primera vez.
Sí, es la primera vez, pero volveremos.
So it's their first time to come here, but they'll be back, and just as everybody else. And so now, ¿son surfas?
No, pero me gustaría.
So they don't surf, but they'd like to start. ¿Y cómo ves la acción ahí?
Bueno, hoy hay pocas olas y bueno, pero bien.
Y aunque no hay mucho mar, okay, so they said there's not a lot of waves, but it's still kind of cool. Aunque no hay mucho mar, no están aburridas.
No, está bastante divertido y sí, está guay.
So I said, even though we don't have a lot of waves out there, are you bored? And they said, no, it's super fun. There's a lot of things to do. ¿Y qué tal lo de arriba? Tenemos un bar de estrella, tenemos comida, un U de patinar. ¿Qué es tu favorito del evento?
La estrella Galicia es lo mejor.
¿Y qué prefieres? 9.
1009.
Okay, so they said out of all the attractions that we have here, their favorite is the bar of Estrella. And I asked them, there's 2 options. You have Estrella, which is regular draft beer. And if you're a connoisseur, you go for the 1009, which is a little more robust, 6.5% alcohol content. That happens to be my personal favorite, which I'm telling the people at the VIP bar to prepare me right now because we've got about 20 minutes more of this. And so while we see a set come in, I'm going to let these girls enjoy the action and get out of their view. And I'm going to send you guys back to Diogo and Vico in the booth as I find some more people to bother. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Ben Way, and thank you to these two non-surfing first-timer and beer connoisseurs as we are back to live action. This is a new heat starting. Diogo, this is really exciting. We have 5 surfers, or maybe 4, I don't know, surfers. We don't really know who they are. That's somebody we've seen before, but as usual, we have no idea who's surfing. That's Ben Coffey. Of course, it's Ben Coffey. Ben Coffey is in white. We should put some notes there. So Ben Coffey is in white. We have Thiago Camarão, aka the Shrimp, is in the water as well. We should be having Hailey Batista.
I don't think that's Ben Coffey, though.
You just said it was Ben Coffey.
Because Ben was saying that was Ben Coffey.
Okay, so you just like listen to guy talk and say, I think it's, oh my God, you've changed.
I've changed.
So, as we can see now, people online, if you are logging onto the WQS side of things for the Pantin Classic, the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic, Galicia Post 2018. It's a 6,000 QS for the ladies, a 3,000 QS for the boys. Today is an off day for the QS side of things as we are just trying to entertain the crowd. And I think it works, at least not for you online because it's sad, but for the persons on the beach, it's a nice Saturday afternoon. There's blazing offshore wind. It's 25, 27 degrees outside. It's perfect afternoon to just get a little sunburn. Not too much, just a little red, but not like really red. And some nice beers. So people are enjoying life and surfers as well because they are surfing the Abanca expression session. We've had way too many heats of non-happenings for the last 3 hours of the day, but we just said goodbye to most of our ladies as we had one single... Oh, that's a lot more than I was expecting. Okay, they just split the peak, so we have plenty of surfers in every single corner. It's basically a final of everything. And surfer in blue, that's Thiago Camarão, front side. Ooh, landing pretty awkwardly. Backside in blue. That's backside no speak. And little kids not afraid of the surfers or the cold water. Oh, little shot of it on this one, as we would love to actually have some more information about these surfers. So Ben Blake, if you listen to me, and I know you have because that's your job sadly for you, can you put back the graph on the screen so we know who's surfing, because we were not informed and we are suffering from not knowing. I mean, that's my usual state, but that's even more today. So please bring back the graphic with the name of our finalists. There you go, Abanca final man expression session in red, Victor Mendes and also Luan Carvalho. In blue, Thiago Camarão and Cole Hashman, which is Houseman. Ben Coffey and Hailey Batista in white. And in green, José Ignacio Gundecen from Argentina and Vicente Romero from Spain as well as Brazil. So we do have 2 surfers of each color, and that should be Mr. José from Argentina. Going down the line, backside snap at the top. The kids really don't care. They're just there. And they're enjoying the show.
So I was just told that Cole Houseman is leading the way in this heat. Cole Houseman is surfing in the blue, coming from the US.
That's true. We saw him surfing at the beginning of that heat with 2 turns. So, well, good on him. We don't really know how long that final will be. I would say 30 minutes, but I could be mistaken. I was actually born mistaken as well, so I just like I'm always wrong. But 19 and 06, it's not the remaining time. You see the clock is going forward, not backward. This is not the clock of this final of the Abanca expression session. This is the local time. It's 7 o'clock and it's still really, really, really much summer here in Pantin. We are at the westernmost part of Spain, just on the top of Portugal, nearby A Coruña and Santiago de Compostela. So we are really well exposed to all the swells. This is why we may have better waves tomorrow, as there's a massive groundswell coming from Ireland. And as Ben will have a quick interview, or not even quick, you can take your time, Ben, with our fantastic little surfer from Japan, Sarawakita. Ben, it's up to you, buddy. Start talking.
All right. So here we are with the winner of that last $500 winner, Sarawakita, visiting us from Japan. So how you feeling?
I went out there to have some fun, so yeah, I'm really feeling happy to win.
Sage Erickson, 2-time winner of this event. You didn't win the $500, but you got a big smile on your face. How was it out there?
Yeah, I think it was awesome that we still had time to put a jersey on, and be in a time limit, but be able to, I guess, express yourself. And so stoked that someone from Japan won. And it was close at the end. Dominic, I think, was winning, and she maybe got a score at 2 minutes. And I think the crowd loved it. And yeah, congratulations.
So, Sarah, you and I were the first ones in the water. Not quite the first ones, but the first ones associated with this contest. Did you use the same sandbar you were using in the morning?
Yes, I did. It was like really similar to this morning, so I just try to keep the spot and get some good waves.
I got some sweet GoPro clips of you, by the way. With this many people, this is like 500 times the people that we've had on the bluff. It looks like a Taylor Swift concert, basically. And so, do you have any pressure, or does that make you just want to turn it up for the crowd?
I didn't have really any pressure, but it was really fun to surf in front of people. So, yeah.
And you don't see their eyes, so it's not as much, So Sage, you're a seasoned competitor. You came out, you joined us at the party last night. We watched Dimity Stoyle kill it on the decks. And how is your experience aside from the contest?
It's amazing. The food that they have here on site is some of the best in Spain, and the camaraderie with the bar and sangria is so cheap. It's only €3, so it's really hard to say no to. And the Galician beer is great also. So I definitely had to cut myself off last night. But there's so many fun things. It's, kind of like a festival, which takes the pressure off the surfing, but makes it really easy to enjoy it. So, Pantin Classic is the new event of the year.
And we have talked that there's a chance that it could turn into a 10,000 eventually.
That would be amazing. I think this place holds that quality, and I think that the people want to see the best surfers in the world. And I hope that it moves up to that stature and one day maybe even higher. So.
And I think a lot of those CT guys need to come here, taste the beer, see the live music. So tonight is basically the biggest party of the whole event, because tomorrow's going to be the final. And you've got some work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, you won't see me partying tonight. I came down to support Shimmy Disco last night on the DJ decks, and having that 2:30 p.m. call was great today. But yeah, tomorrow's serious and excited for some more waves. And this was fun. I was stoked to, be in a more playful atmosphere. And congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Sage Erickson, Sarah Wakita.
Thank you.
And so go up and collect your cash and buy me a pizza.
For sure.
Right on. Back to you guys. I just saw someone get a little backside 3 in the shore break. Let's get a replay of that one in white. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ben. And that was a nice interview of Sarah Wakita and Sage Erickson. And yes, that was a nice little party yesterday. Oh, switch on this one, late exchange. So, Sage, just enjoying life. Finally, she went from really having a blast last year to having less of a blast. And we're going to just go straight into a replay and go back to Sage a little after. So, little front side shove. Little ollie pop for surfer in blue, and there was also that for surfer in white. So on this little fast running right-hander backside pop again, so nothing fantastic, but still some action. So Sage, pretty great year last season, not that good on the CT this year, so she's just now relearning how to enjoy things, enjoy the life that she's being given. And I think events like Pantin can just really bring you back to what you really want to do. There's apart from what we have on the contest site, all you can do in Pantin is being with yourself and your close friends and just enjoying what surfing is all about, which is just going in the water, enjoying whatever is actually out there to take. There's no disruption, there's no distraction per se, and the way it's placed on the season, it's usually placed after the first rush of stress and before this final kind of sprint prior to requalify. So it can really be seen as a breather when actually you can just push the reset button, just start enjoying the lifestyle, enjoying the really quiet vibe of that area, and say, okay, I need to just pace myself, breathe in, breathe out, and start again. And it's no wonder why she won this event twice already. It's because it's just really well placed, and not only the wave somehow suits her surfing. It's also the fact that the whole area suits who she is as a person, and I think most surfers need that kind of like really kind of like rugged experience of like cold water and big tides. And when you go to Pantin, it's an event like none other. And I just think that somehow this event deserves more, and it would be a good thing if we could have finally the first 10,000 of the QS. We have this.
Whoa!
What happened there? A surfer in white?
Yeah, that was
claiming that with two arms.
That was wild. This is red. Hopefully, we're going to see the replay of the last of
course,
wife
because Ben
on the
Blake is the
backside.
best Blake we know.
Oh man, that was wild. But I love what you're saying from Sage Ericsson. I love
I know,
to
high
see
five
when,
to me. Yeah.
And I love when surfers show their understanding of where they are and reveal themselves as being thankful persons for the life they get to live. And I think Sage Ericsson is really experiencing that at this event, as she have told us in a post-heat interview. As we go with the replay of that wave of Ben Coffey on his backhand.
That was a nice little blow tail when he no speak to reverse.
It was.
And he claims that, well, it's more like a U-shaped kind of like claim. But he was already first prior to that, I think, so he's just improving. As we don't really know what time is remaining, but we don't really care.
I think it's 18 minutes.
Oh, that's awfully precise. You must have been having some like inside information. Anyway, this is the last hit of the day in Pantin. This is not the QS, boys and girls online. If you have just logged in, well, sorry about that, but we don't really see. You can see you have some pretty small waves. So we have decided, not us, because, well, we don't really care about our opinion, but the head judge and the tour rep and the event director have just all decided to push this event for tomorrow, as we have a better swell coming up. And we go straight with some more side action, with Ben Way having some, I think, and hope, interesting person just like Roberto to interview. Ben, it's up to you, buddy. Come on.
All right, here we are with more of our buddies on the bluff. This time we're here with Anna and Carmen. How are you girls?
Good.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
That's great. Carmen, how about you? You look better because you have the beer.
Yeah, I'm enjoying a lot.
Is that that's Estrella Regular? I can tell by the color it's not Mil Nueve.
No, no Mil Nueve.
Is it too early for Mil Nueve?
Yes, that's...
It's never too early for Mil Nueve for me. So this is your first time? You came all the way from Santander to come to Pantin?
No, I came last year too.
But you did come from Santander?
Yes.
And Carmen, are you a veteran here? You live in La Coruña, so I hear. That's the neighboring city.
Yeah, that's right. Just came to enjoy a little bit.
Well, the wind is very strong, and your hair looks cool. You look like you're in a heavy metal video.
Yeah, too windy, but it's okay.
Just keep the flying grass and dirt out of your beer, or you just drink everything and don't have to worry about it.
No, I'm just drinking and enjoying, so that's perfect.
That's what I'll be doing in about 15 minutes here. So, are you a surfer?
No, really.
Not really means that you ride a board?
Yes.
You get to your feet?
Yeah, sometimes yes.
Then you're a surfer. That's anyone who gets in the water with a surfboard is technically a surfer. If they put their feet on the board, that makes them even more of a surfer. And here, with these conditions, there's nothing dangerous. You can have a beer and you can surf. So you get best of both worlds. So thank you so much, girls. I'm going to go back and get back to the fun action out there.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy.
And Carmen, buy me a beer later.
Sure, I will.
Right on, thank you. Back to the booth with you guys. Let's see some waves come through, and I'm going to go find some more people.
Anyway, living the best life, getting some free drinks by people he just met. That's pretty cool, as we are down to somehow around 15 minutes. So, yes, as said before, this bluff interview, we will not be having any kind of QS action today. It's the last hit of the day, and Blue is up and riding at Sede Batista. No. Yeah?
That's not Eli Batista, that's Cole Hausman.
That's really confusing.
Holly is in white.
Okay.
Again, we are a bit backlit.
No. That's me not actually knowing whoever is surfing, because we don't have the hit draw. But and I think Eddie Batista anyway is surfing on his backhand, so I'm being stupid. So in any way, that's the last hit of the day. And as Ben was claiming, this will be the party of the week, if not the party of the year. The Pantin Classic has been there for 30 1 year. That's a second, if not, I think second or third tops, longest lasting professional surfing event in the world. We have the Bells Beach Easter Rally, which is now the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. That I think was starting in 1968, but I think I'm mistaken. And we have also the Lacanau Pro, the French Pro, that has been celebrating its 30 years a few years back. So we are here with a big piece of history, and Pantin keeps on improving. And as we were saying as well earlier, there's potential to grow even more. We've seen the contest site developing over the years to something pretty massive right now. Everything is focused on two things: the comfort of the surfers and the comfort of the viewers, which is great because both audience and surfers come to Pantin and enjoy all that there is to enjoy around here.
Absolutely.
And you can see this is just like a natural arena. You have this on the top left of your screen. You have the judging and a beach announcing tower, and all on your right is actually the VIP viewing area. We have the Estrella Galicia bar, and we have, I hope he has some pants on. No, well, let's not try to change the angle, but God, that was close. Everything has been organized, respecting the environment. There's eco points, which is like this kind of like glass, paper, organic trash everywhere. People are respectful. Not so much though. If you just check onto Goniz Bizarreta's Instagram, he's from here, he's from Vigo. He was picking up trash, and I was as well yesterday morning. There's a lot of people coming, so we need to preserve Galicia clean. And this area of Spain is just beautiful. As we had a long floater for a surfer in white, I think that was El Batista.
That was a cool little floater, one of those dancing floater things where you push where you put a back foot against your front foot in the middle of the board.
Okay.
But on his backhand, that was stylish at least.
Pretty cool indeed. And you can see the headland here. So the swell will be coming. If you just check that screen right now, if you were just to get out of that corner and just aim right, you would just be following the whole coast, going from this part of Galicia to Cantabria and
Asturias.
So yes, Galicia, Asturias, Cantabria, and then the Basque Country, Euskadi, all the way to France. So we really are at the top left corner of the Spanish map, and we are exposed to all the swells, which is a good thing because, as you can see, it's pretty flat. It's almost concave. But tomorrow, by let's say late morning, we should be feeling some kind of like a groovy thing coming up because there's a big swell coming with 17 seconds. Right now there's 1.2 foot and 6 seconds. We are expecting 5.5 foot, 17 seconds tomorrow. So what may be happening as this swell should be arriving as the tide is starting to push up, that every single set will be bigger than the other. We're going to have a lot of momentum arriving. We just hope that it will be arriving in time. But we do have plenty of time and not that many hits to run. We've been having days with 33 hits surfed in one day. We only have 18s to run tomorrow. So that's pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nevertheless, we have a call tomorrow at 9.
We do.
To see if with what will be still a pretty high tide, there's some wave to surf. So we can maybe start with a round of 16 for the boys.
Yep.
Once we have that, we just go quarterfinal, semis, final, depending on who we want to start first. The ladies, if we are gentlemen. The men, if we are not really gentlemen. In any way, we do need to finish this competition tomorrow, as we do have plenty of CT surfers who actually need to fly out and go back to California, Lemoore in California for the surf ranch events at Kelly Stiller's pool. So that will be later next week. Right now we're focusing on the live action.
We are.
And
again,
this is a Banca expression session.
A Banca expression session. We have the final of the men's expression session in the water. In red, Victor Mendes. In blue, Tiago Camarão. In white, Ben Coffey. In green, José Ignacio Gundensen. These are all surfers that are goofy footers. And regular footers, we have Luan Carvalho, Cole Hashman, Ale Batista, and Vicente Romero. So these are the 8 boys in the water at the moment. They are trying to do their best to put these waves and their surfing on a good display, to do some interesting aerial maneuvers. As we see Red taking off, he's way to the left, really close to Maranello actually, and up and riding once again. This is surfer in blue on his backhand. That's Cole Hashman. As we see Ali Batista taking a look there, this is green on his forehand, so that's Vicente Romero.
My God, such an exciting heat. I can hardly breathe.
And there are 8 minutes remaining. We are wrapping up our second to last day of the Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. We started all the way last Thursday, and as in last, I don't mean 2 days ago, I mean in the other week, as we had the Pro Junior, Pantin Pro Junior by Gadis. The first time we had the Pro Junior here, and it was quite an event. Crowning our new European Junior champions in Marco Mignot and Nadia Erostarbe. And now, 1 week later, we are close to crowning the 2018 Pull&Bear Pantin Classic Galicia Pro champions. There are still 16 boys in contention, whereas in the girls' side of the draw, there's 8 girls, including former winners of this event. So tomorrow is going to be the day of all the big decisions. It's the day that you won't want to miss. And if you can, and if you're nearby, just stop by. There's plenty of parking. The contest site has a lot of activities and food to offer. There's Estrella Galicia. There are free classes. There's so much stuff to do that you should be coming if you are nearby. As we see up and riding once again, this is our surfer in green.
Oh, that's red now as his front side and little tail drift. Diogo, I have a question for you because you are one of the most knowledgeable person I've met today. If you were to take a side in that kind of like online fight there is between Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, who would you choose? And why?
That's a good question.
I know, right? And I'm still getting an answer from my Spice Girls' favorite song and who's the hottest of the Jonas Brothers. That's a lot of things you need to answer now.
I would say Katy Perry.
Why?
Because her ancestors were Portuguese. That Perry comes from Pereira.
Oh my, no, that's no shit. No, I can't.
True,
no. Okay, you know what? I'm angry at you. Ben Way, take it away. Or not, because
All right, so we just saw Holly Batista get a nice little alley-oop in the short break. As I'm here with my friend Victoria, ¿qué tal?
Muy bien, muy bien.
¿Sabes por qué vine? Porque tienes una tabla muy especial.
Sí.
Pero no sabías que era especial, ¿verdad?
No, no lo sabía.
¿Y quién te lo dio?
Tú.
¿La tabla?
Ah, no. La compramos en un sitio donde era de segunda mano.
Es una joya.
No lo sabía.
The reason I told her the reason I grabbed her is because she's got such a special board. This board was shaped by Peter Daniels, a hand shape, one of the best shapers ever to come out of South Africa, that ended up moving and living in San Sebastian. And last year we lost him. He passed away. A really, really important person in the shaping industry, a name that was known by many professionals for being one of the best person to make a board. And se murió el señor y era muy amigo mío. Y perdón, pero es algo muy, muy especial y que nunca lo vendes.
Nunca lo voy a vender.
Sí. Y que lo surfeas todos los días y luego en el Pantin Classic de 2020 estás aquí compitiendo.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. This board is going to be a special one. Use this to get good, and she'll be out here in the Pantin someday. Sorry for that little emotional moment. Back in the booth.
Wow, okay, Ben. He's like a little rainbow of emotion, isn't he? Well, yeah, Peter Daniels, fantastic shaper, and he's been leading the charge of the best shapers. Actually, some of the guys who became the best shapers in Europe. So a proper mentor for most of the guys in this little corner of paradise called the Basque Country, when he went to Pucas and basically got all the guys to work on his templates. So great human being, and indeed he is really missed in the shaping world and as a all-round great human being. So as we are going back to something slightly less in a morning point of view, but you know what? Life is good, and it's about highs and lows, and anyway, we'll find somebody with maybe not this board, so he can be back to his usual spicy self. But yeah, Peter Daniel was I think will remain one of the biggest legends when it comes to the shaping art in Europe, because he brought all these this expertise. And I mean, if you just like check how old is that board, there was still some glass on fins on that one, and it looked pretty spicy to me. So I don't think this girl will ever try to actually like now sell that, because she just got interviewed by Ben Way, who was crying in front of 1,000 persons. So I think this will be anchored in her memory for quite a long time. And we are going back to the action now with Surfer in Red on yet another weird-looking left-hander.
This is Victor Mendes, younger brother of World Tour
Shawn
surfer
Mendes?
Jesse Mendes. Oh,
Okay.
that has to be a completion. There we go. That's Victor Mendes. That's the best air of the day.
You know
And
that
the
Shawn
crowd are
Mendes
happy.
is Portuguese as well.
Is he?
Oh, okay.
Who's Shawn Mendes?
Oh my God, dude, just no.
Sorry about that. Look at him. Look at how happy he is.
Well, he really went really fast on this one. I love the fact that somehow that wave was really like looking weird, but it was always lifted up by the wind coming this way. So just check this out. This wave has almost no potential, but it's just flying down, and just check. It's not a pop. It's just flying, whoop, and pushing down rotation. Best air of the day. And again, and again, and again. So spinning around like he just doesn't care. Claiming this halfway made in style, and now from that, this will be the benchmark for the judges saying, okay, we want to see this or better.
And up and riding is our surfer in blue. Also going for an aerial maneuver, that's Thiago Camarão.
The shrimp.
And, the shrimp. And this is white up and riding, that's Halle Batista. Whoa, that was a full-on head first.
Well, he has a nice mop of hair on him, so it's okay. So, 1 minute remaining, minuto bat, as we say in Basque. And this is the last hit of the day. We are Saturday afternoon, 7:30 in the afternoon, which is still afternoon for Spanish time. Time to get a fresh cup of beer, a glass of beer, as we're going to try to get Ben Way on the microphone with us.
Give it a try, Ben.
No, he's
No,
not
still
in.
not on.
You hear me, Betsy?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Oh, you're on.
Hey,
He's
you.
on.
Well,
Ben.
that was embarrassing. Jeez.
It's okay. Just like, come on. Listen, come on, leave it.
Thanks, buddy.
That
So
was
getting
good.
all choked up. Very, very personal friend. He was a really, really popular shaper in Japan, in Chiba, for CHP surfboards when he wasn't at Puka's. And amazing, amazing guy. And he'd invited me to go visit him in San Sebastian just before he passed away, and never got that chance.
Yeah, that's as I was saying online before you arrived. He really left a fantastic amount of knowledge in Europe after shaping for so many years in Pukas. Like all the starting shapers somehow would just like get some of Peter's templates. Whereas he was just like finishing the boards. I was saying this board was looking quite old, but the glass on was pretty spot on, and the fins were still there. Everything was basically like kind of like iced.
And they had bought it like some second-hand store and had no idea what it was. That was the coolest thing.
So yeah, I think that this little girl will have.
That's proper memorabilia.
Yeah, of course it is. And anything from Peter Daniels is actually worth maintaining. Look at this! He's just so happy.
Victor Mendes, not bad for a day's worth of work. Victor Mendes.
He pretty much commanded this whole expression session from the beginning.
Yeah. He was on the best options, and really this little left-hander was full of surprise. So now he's going to be like high-fiving his way up, taking pictures, selfie, hashtag Pantin, Pull&Bear Pantin Pro, as we know exactly what's going to be happening now. This is the end of the day. The sun's going to be just painting the sky with these golden colors. People will be happy. The DJ will come and just blast some music. Oh really? That's cool.
He's going to be carried up the hill by his friends. Look at him go. That crowd's going to go wild by the hills.
So I'm just expecting this not to last too long, because that's quite a stretch to walk up the beach. And, well, he's happy. That's cool. He's just one expression session. So it's like amazing.
And we're going to be ending our day before we've blown completely off the bluff. Somehow this thing did stay put. And those are some happy surfers there. One is happier than the other two. Well, but maybe he'll share some of that cash to go buy them some beers at the bar.
$500 for Shawn Mendes. Maybe not because he's a singer. But, I mean, he's a Mendes as well. So it could be his brother. Because who's the brother of Vitor?
Jesse Mendes.
Jesse Mendes.
Did you say Sergio Mendes?
No, I could. Actually,
And the Brazil 66?
It would be a better actually reference than Shawn Mendes.
Thank you.
No problem with Shawn Mendes.
That was quite an aerial, wasn't it?
That was a
proper.
great looking.
Can you believe that I had Sergio Mendes and the Brazil 66 on vinyl when I was 6? Why?
Wow.
That's
incredible.
That just shows what a weird music geek I am. That had something to do.
Age 6.
Yeah.
Listening to Sergio Mendes.
That's memorabilia as well.
It's quite strange. Anyways, I just found out that my job is not over because I'm going over to give out a big prize of 2 flights anywhere in the world, thanks to our sponsor Intermax, which is the Wi-Fi company.
That's the polo you were rocking last night. Great looking polo.
And I forgot to bring it today. So today, maybe they'll have to give me another shirt, but it's the same color. And so that's right. Going straight from here, we're going to have our winners head on up, and we're going to take them up to the main stage where we're going to be giving away 2 flights to anywhere. Wasn't that a song? 2 flights to anywhere. Okay,
no.
never mind. So 2 flights to anywhere, thanks to our sponsor Intermax. That's going to go up on the main stage. A todos están viendo que hablan español. Tenemos un sorteo de Intermax y puedes ganar 2 vuelos a cualquier parte del mundo gracias a nuestros patrocinadores y gracias a mis comentadores. Y, wow, dude, you've been working out? Take it easy.
Just a little. Just juiced up, you know.
All right, so we're really, really silly, and you guys held it together much better than I did, I'll tell you that much.
Not sure about that.
We're going to say our goodbyes for today, isn't it?
Well, first, don't forget that this is here. Pull&Bear Pantin Classic is supposed 6,000 QS for the ladies and 3,000 for the men. So the call is the following. Local time 7:34. We have this hit draw, round of 16, 4 hits of 4 surfers. This is what we should be starting our day with. May we start at 9 or later on. We're going to try to just go through this first round together, and then these 16 surfers will be divided by 2 to just maintain 8 surfers that will be surfing then after in quarterfinal man-on-man. So we do have a lot of excellent surfers. Some former city standouts as is that ACDC? Shook me all night long?
Yes, it is.
Great. So, check that.
Beautiful
Wesley
infographics
Dantes,
there.
Ethan Ewings, Thiago Camarão, Hiroto Hara. Second hit, Matteo Scerdi, Lucas Silveira, Kali Vast, Leo Fioraventi, former winner as well. And that was Serena's birthday, Leo's mother yesterday. So, auguri Serena. Third hit, Carlos Munoz, Nat Young, Jackson Baker, Jaco, and Alonso Coder from Peru. Last one will be Aiden Messenkamp, Gadi Andrade, Alejo Muniz, and Aris Aramburu. That's pretty stacked to me.
Yeah, and Gatian was saying that he was actually supposed to fly out to the next contest tomorrow.
Yep.
And so he was hoping that his heat would be today. And he said, if I lose out, I'll make my flight. And that didn't sound very like a good way to go into it. And so hopefully he's stuck around, and we want to see 4 people in that heat.
No, he was still around the contest site when I was just getting my 3rd coffee. So he's around. He just won Anglet last week. He's now on the round of 16 of the QF 3000. It's pretty good. Check the quarters. We're going to have some ladies after. So we do have plenty of former Pantin Classic winner, Cedricson, and Nikki Van Dyke, and Sylvain Lima, and Coco Ho. Every single heat has one of our former champion.
Wow.
And they are opposed to Teresa Bonvalo from Portugal, fantastic surfer. Marina Maeda appears twice because why not? She may be surfing on the 1st or 2nd quarter or the 4th, we never know. And anyway, Marina Maeda from Japan is surfing. I think we have a 2nd girl from Japan, which is Sarawakita. Is she in the quarterfinals as well? I'm not sure.
She lost out, I'm quite sure.
Sylvain Lima, Paige Harrop, Coco Ho, and we're going to see as well another surfers. Right now we are shuffling the papers.
It's Bronte Macaulay.
Bronte Macaulay, she was a finalist as well. So in all these 8 ladies, we have at least 6 surfers. We went to the final stages. One won twice. Sage Eriksson, she wants to go 3. Pete. And all the other ones just like to won again. Marina Maeda, she was 28th before this event. She may jump straight up if ever she was to reach the final. But before that, there's quarters, semis, and final. That was a good afternoon of basically nothing, producing some fun, some emotions, some great and weird music as well. But Pull&Bear Pantin Classic, Galicia Pro, it's starting tomorrow. Check in at 9 local time. It's 7:37, so GMT +1. We will have, I think, several calls during the day. The swell will be picking up not overnight, but during the day as the tide will be going out and back in. We should feel a little pulse, or actually a big pulse in our conditions. So Ben?
Saying that we only have like 13 and a half hours to get drunk, party, come back, wake up, have some dinner, maybe skip dinner, and then be ready to surf?
That will be, that's I think
Right on.
A good one. So, boys, on behalf of all WSL, all the surfers, all the audience, the events organizers, and everybody here in Pantin, we just say muchas gracias and hasta mañana.
Sure.
See
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, boys.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao.